Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to those of you who were with us before for our false start. This is the Glowing Dial Live, episode number 9, coming at you this 18th day of February in 2018. Hopefully have my sidekick Greg here with me and properly going through the board right now.
Yes, I am very bored right now. How you doing, everybody? It's been an interesting experience getting here.
Yes, it has. It has. No co-host in the studio this time. Jade couldn't make it, neither could Stu. But the empty chair is going to represent Greg on Skype coming through.
Probably looks better.
Yeah.
Check out them arms, I'll tell you.
You know, I thought of a way that we could have made you visible on Skype, but it would take a lot of money that I don't have right now.
And that's why we need your listeners' donations to help us make this thing into a more professional setup, as it were. That's right. We're thinking big. We want a full-blown studio.
You know what it would take? It would take a widescreen TV and a stand to set it on. And it would be right over here where my hand is right now.
I'd be mortar headroom.
Yes, well, it'd be like the way like Chad and Dick DeBartolo do the Gizwiz show. He has Dick on the monitor and Chad's in the studio. You know.
For those listeners who are wondering who the heck are they belong to a online network called Twit, which has to do with technology and such, which is kind of a polar opposite of what this channel is all about. But that's okay. That's okay.
We're about nostalgia and old-time radio, and of course, that we are using tech to bring it to you, though. So we kind of are a combination of both.
Well, yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, you have to have tech to bring it to people, but yeah, I see your point.
But for the webcam version, the YouTube and the Facebook Live versions, which hopefully are going out right now, my instruments tell me everything is going out, and
oops, sorry about that.
So sorry we had a late start. We had a power failure here earlier, and I had just gotten everything started up and ready for the show. I mean, literally just by seconds.
The way it always goes.
Mixler wasn't pulling any audio in, so we were broadcasting silence on that. I couldn't get Greg there because I was putting up the wrong pot on the mixer. I mean, it says remote.
That's a drag, man, when you get the wrong pot.
No, we don't smoke that stuff around here.
Right. Dave's not here.
But Greg said, all right, calm down. I stopped the first broadcast. Greg said, calm down, restart everything and see if that changes things. And
reboot.
It did. And voila, it did. I don't know what it was, but we're going out through Mixler right now. You just didn't hear that the opening music. I mean, that 13 minutes of old 20s music that we put on there. Just
but
if
you'd like to hear it, just let us know and we'll play it all over again.
Yeah, we'll switch the screen to black and say we'll be right back. And oh my goodness gracious! Well, we are up and going on Mixler and Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So if you're listening to us right now, obviously you are using one of those means. So why not use more than one? Anyway, because we're trying this YouTube and Facebook thing. We're trying this to see how it goes over. We've done a few shows like it so far, and some people have said, hey, it's good to see you guys while you're doing the show.
I don't know quite what to say about that, actually.
You mean you're speechless?
I'm actually, yes. It's because people are glad to see us.
Yeah, that is a confusing thing, isn't it?
It is. It's a bit.
All right. Well, what have we got for you? Well, we have got...
What do we got for you?
Let's see if we do this here in order. Like I just said, we have a video version of the show now on YouTube and Facebook Live, as well as our audio-only version, courtesy of our good friends at Mixlr.com. That's Mixlr.com. If you're with us now, like I said, you're obviously using one of those feeds. All of the info for the live show is on our homepage at glowingdial.com. Just look for the menu on the left and click on Live Show, and you'll have all the details. What's that? What's up?
You forgot something.
What did I forget?
/glowingdial.
I was just gonna say that.
Oh.
And they're hearing all this whispering.
I know.
All right, if you want to participate in the chat room with us, as Greg and I are both in there right now, and you just go to Mixlr.com, that's Mixlr.com/glowingdial. And if you're not already signed up with Mixlr, it's just a quick and easy way to do it. There's no cost involved.
Just your firstborn male child.
That's right. No. Male pet, maybe, but I don't know. No, we got enough. We got the two kitties keep us busy enough here. So Mixlr.com/glowingdial will get you there and sign up with Mixlr, and then you'll be ready every time. You can sign in with Facebook once you are a member with Mixlr, and you can get into our chat room and talk with us that way. And we hope that you will... and I'm going to move this so I can get to this.
We hope that you will, too.
There we go for the people watching us. I have a nice fancy screen made up, which I have to change because we've added another source. But we are still doing our tri-weekly podcast of the Glowing Dial with Big John and Steve. Information on that is once again at our homepage at glowingdial.com. Just click on Shows on the menu to the left of your screen. Our tri-weekly podcast can be heard at glowingdial.com. Jerry Handiga's Old Time Radio Network, Google Play Music, iTunes, and now TuneIn Radio. We just added them. And YouTube and the Internet Archive. And we, even on our Facebook channel, our Glowing Dial Facebook channel, which we want you to like. We want to break 100 likes there. We...
like, totally.
You should be able to watch the live video version of the live show, even on Facebook. I think it posts it there afterward, too. So you just have to scroll down a little bit to find it. Now, we even, big news, I've been working on this a lot lately. We even have a Roku channel in the works. I've been putting up all the old Glowing Dials, everything we have, including the new episodes, up on a Roku channel. If you have a Roku box, that's ROKU, which is just a good on a streaming internet-based service, and you can get a whole bunch of channels there. There's a whole bunch of people, and you can even make your own channel. I made one for the Glowing Dial. We're going to have all the old episodes up there, plus the new episodes, and we're going to even have some OTR-related TV shows that you can tune into there as well. And I'm still working on that, so it hasn't gone public yet, but stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned, though. Now, we want you to interact with us. Pardon me, I'm still a little flustered from the false start here. We want you to interact with us here on the Glowing Dial for, just to call us and talk old-time radio with us if you want. You can instant request a show if we have it in our... archives over here to the left of me, which is off camera to you. We will play it for you almost instantly. Now, the ways you can do that, our chat room, as I just mentioned, at www.mixlr.com, mixlr.com/glowingdial, and join up with them and sign in, and you can get into the chat room and talk with us there. Skype is normally going to be Glowing Dial 62, but that is out of commission today since we're using it for Greg. So
sorry.
Don't try Skype today until I can get the Glowing Dial Live account back up online. That's the one we were using for the live show, and I'm having trouble signing into it for some reason, so I've got to go to tech support and find out why. But our phone number is 248-221-2011. If you want to call that number, we'll put you on the air, and you can talk with us that way. Do your instant request that way if you want as well. And our website, of course, is www.glowingdial.com. Now, use any or all of those contact means, except for Skype today, of course, as we said, because that's tied up with my co-host. Use those contact means to answer our trivia question. Yes, we do have a trivia question lined up for this episode, and you can win a USB flash drive loaded with old-time radio shows from the Glowing Dial archives.
And I don't see Kimba here, so you just might have a chance, whoever
you might have a chance, yes. I wonder why she's not here.
She's probably got, she goes, oh, not another USB drive. I got tons of those.
Yeah, she's listening to them all right now, you know. Instead of listening to the show.
That's right.
Oh, well, I tell you.
She's set for the next year.
Well, all right. You can win a USB flash drive. Like I said, it's going to contain about 15 old-time radio programs. We can't give away the store here. On a 4 gig USB flash drive. That's the prize. Now, I'm going to do today's question right now and then a few times throughout the show until we get a winner. And if we don't get a winner, then we'll just carry the question on to the next episode, which will give all of you time to go to Google and look it up. We're hoping that you will actually do this from memory, just from your knowledge of old-time radio, you know. But because back when Steve and I first started this show, the internet was new back in 1996.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We did contests back then too, and had people email us with the answer. And
that's right. There was no Google. Back then, it was Yahoo, I believe, was the big gun.
Yeah, I remember AOL. I remember starting my internet experience with AOL online.
For me, it was Prodigy.
Then we went to, I think I tried Prodigy. Then there was Netscape, or that was just a browser, or was it a service too? I think it was a service as well. I went through a whole bunch of them back in the day before I got cable. And then, cable modem, speed, yes.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you, what a revelation that was.
No waiting no waiting 5 minutes for a picture of Wonder Woman to download. You know, I mean, it was just, it was. I remember the impatience, just sitting there, and another line of it came in. Oh yeah, we're almost there. I can almost see her. Well, never mind. You know what I mean.
You think you had it bad? I started with a deck writer, which is print on paper only at 300 baud. And if you don't wondering what 300 baud is like, just go. That's each character printing.
Oh wow.
Yes. No, that was 110 baud. 300 was, but still, wow. Okay, sorry, folks. Didn't mean to bore you with that tech history there.
But it is nostalgia, so it technically fits. Yes.
It is very nostalgic for me. It really is. I could talk a whole show just on that stuff.
I started with a 14.4 modem.
Really? Oh, you beat me out.
And then I went to a 28.8. Ooh, and then I dreamed of a 56K. You know, I finally got that, and
yep, I did. I finally had it. 50. I went from 14.4 to 56.
Mm-hmm.
What a difference!
And then cable modem after that, and what a difference! That was a night and day difference there. Yeah. And now we're up around 300 megabits down and 20 up with our current service. So
the times they are a changing.
Well, thank you, Greg Dillon.
Well, no problem.
All right, for anyone listening... No, sorry, I'm not Dylan. I'm Big John, the host here. Today's trivia question is as follows. Radio producer and director Hyman Brown helped dramatic radio make a comeback between 1974 and 1982. This is a three-part question, so listen close. What was the name of the series he created at that time? Who were the two hosts? And what trademark sound effect did he revive from the golden age of radio? Now, if you can answer any of those, we will have that USB flash drive of about 15 old-time radio programs. I haven't decided which kind they will be because they're behind me over there. And let me see here. I'll just pull them out here. We have...
It's a good thing this is radio.
Could be that. Could be that. Or could be that. Oh, yes. I think we're going to go drama this time around.
Just what we need. More drama.
Yes, more drama. We had enough of that with the false start of this program today, folks. I hope you didn't give up on us. Anyway, yeah.
This makes you a drama king now.
Oh, no. We're, once again, the question, and then we're going to get on into our first program.
Thank goodness.
Radio producer and director Hyman Brown helped dramatic radio make a comeback between 1974 and 1982. The three-part question is, what was the name of the series he created? Who were the two hosts? And what trademark sound effect did he revive from the golden age of radio for that program? And the answer is forthcoming. Gotcha. Anyway, what we're going to do right now is do the next chapter in our I Love a Mystery serial, The Thing That Cries in the Night. We're having part 7 of that right now. That's from November 8th of 1949, originally over Mutual, and that was sustained at that program at that time. And it's with Russell Thorson, Jim Bowles, Tony Randall, and Mercedes McCambridge. So enjoy that, and Greg and I will be back at you with some more fun frivolity and tech memories.
And I'll have some. Of course, I'll have another round of fun facts from that year. What was it? 1947.
What specific year now?
The one you mentioned for the show.
You mean in the trivia question?
No, for what you were for the show you're playing.
Oh, the I Love a Mystery is from 1945.
45. Okay, so I'll have some 45 trivia.
But I also plan to do a show from 70 years ago today.
Which would better.
Which would make it 1948. So let's go with that.
Okay. We'll go with 48.
Okay, sounds good. And I'll give you time to come up with that kind of stuff. And
alrighty.
All right. So sit back, close your eyes, and remember, I Love a Mystery, The Thing That Cries in the Night, Part 7. And we'll be back at you.
The Mutual Broadcasting System presents I Love a Mystery. Transcribed.
I swear to my grandma, I ain't never seen a screwier setup than this one.
Crime. Deucedly interesting, though, isn't it?
You mean all these female women are running around in flimsy wisps of lace wanting to be rescued?
No, I don't mean female women running around in wisps of lace.
The thing that bothers me is there ain't no sense to nothing.
Well, I imagine things will make plenty of sense once we get on the right track.
For instance, what's Jack got us up here patrolling this hall for?
But naturally, Doc, after the attempt to kill Hope and Cherry.
Yeah, I know, but why is he making everybody stay in his own bedroom? Job over in that room pie-eyed, Hope across the hall still sleeping off of chloroform, Fay and Cherry in the next room. How come he let Cherry go in with Fay anyway?
Because her room's up on the 3rd floor, for one thing.
Well, so's Grandma Martin's. Yet Jack's once, he went and let her go up there alone.
Trying. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, we're guarding everybody but Grandma. I wonder why that is.
Well, I suppose Jack thinks she's not in any danger.
Just the 3 girls and Job, huh?
Another reason for putting Cherry with Fay.
Yeah?
She's just recovering from this new attack on her. Only brutal, if you ask me, and I don't think she's going to be able to take much more of it.
You talking about Cherry?
Yes, that beastly, strained expression on her face. Desperation. She shouldn't be left alone for a moment until this business is settled, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, what do you suppose Jack's doing?
I think he's going over the house, room by room.
But we already done that, Reggie.
Not with any great care. Just made sure there was no one in the house besides those who belong here.
Well, what's he expect to find?
Well, if someone was in the house long enough to give Hope chloroform and tear Cherry's clothes and slash her, he must have left some clue of his presence.
And anybody leave anything around, Jack's the hombre to find it.
Quiet.
You know, that's the funny thing about Cherry. Of course, it was dark in her room, but even if it was, it's kind of queer that she didn't get some idea of the slasher while she was fighting him off.
Too terrified, I suppose. Mind froze on her.
Well, anyway, whether it was a man or a woman...
I have an idea it was a woman myself.
Yeah?
I think Jack does, too. Did you see those scratches on her neck and arm? A man's fingernails aren't ordinarily long enough to do that.
Hey, I didn't notice that. Hey, Fay's door's open.
Cherry, you little fool, come back here.
Now, looky, Cherry, you can't come out here.
But I've got to.
You look ill. You should be lying down.
I'm all right.
She insists that she's got to see Job.
I do, I've got to.
Now, looky. Jack said that you all got to stay where he put you until he said you could come out. Now, he sent us up here to see that you stayed put.
But it's important.
Besides, Brother Job's so spifflicated, nothing would make sense to him anyway.
I don't care. I love him, and he's in danger.
But he can't be in any immediate danger. We've been right outside his door all the time.
Oh, I'm going.
What you think we ought to do, Reggie?
Well, look here. Suppose I go hunt up Jack and ask him.
Yeah, you do that.
But I mustn't
No,
wait.
I'll only be a minute or two.
When the terrified mouse gets an idea into her head, there isn't much use arguing with her.
But it's important.
Well, it's going to have to wait until Reggie gets back. Now, looky, Cherry. You should get out of them torn clothes. What you still wearing them for?
I offered to help her get out of them and put on one of my bathrobes, but try to talk her into anything that makes sense.
You ain't sold in them for the winter, are you?
I'm afraid to go up to my room to get anything else.
I told you could have something of mine.
No.
Well, what you scared of your room for? It ain't nobody up there now.
Maybe there is.
Hey, no, there ain't. We give you a room a going over.
They like my room. They can come any time they want to.
You mean there's a secret door or something?
No, there's no secret door.
Then how the heck can they come to your room any time they want to?
I don't know.
And I'm getting pretty fed up with these they folks. Who are they anyhow?
I don't know.
You know, Faye, she just plain don't make sense.
Don't look at me. I'm a stranger here myself.
Yeah. Hey, looky, Cherry. Are they the ones who've got the baby that bawls every time something's about to happen?
I don't know. I think so.
That baby gag gets me down. A house full of widows, spinsters, and neurotics. What's a baby doing here?
Or maybe the stork brought it.
Oh, don't be silly. There hasn't been a stork seen in this neighborhood since the year of the big freeze.
You know, that's darn funny about this house. Here you are, 3 of the prettiest girls I ever laid eyes on. And ain't even one of you got a boyfriend.
Hope had one, but he's in the corpse department just at present.
You mean that chauffeur?
Who else?
But, well, that ain't no honest-to-goodness boyfriend like you girls should ought to have. Well, you got everything, Faye. What's the matter with you?
I'm immune.
That ain't normal.
So what?
So it ain't normal.
Maybe I was born in a refrigerator and never thawed out.
What about you, Cherry?
I've got to talk to Job.
Well, you'll just have to wait till Reggie gets back. Ain't you interested in men?
Yes,
You are? Well, why ain't you got a feller then?
they won't let me.
Hey, now, look, that ain't no answer. I don't care who they are. Nobody can keep a girl from having a boyfriend if she wants one.
I tell you, they won't let me.
Well, why not?
They don't want any of us to know a man. They're afraid we'll marry and have children.
Terry, what are you talking
It's
about?
true. They want the Martin family to end right here.
Darned if I don't think you're talking through your hat. Oh, here comes Reggie.
Can I go to Job now?
Now, hold your horses. What about it, Reggie?
It's all right for her to go in, but first Jack wants her clothes.
Hey!
Please, Mr. York.
Oh, but I say. I mean, he positively wants them. Wants me to bring them down to him immediately.
Well, it's hardly ever done. I mean, just asking a girl for her clothes.
Well, if Jack wants them, he's going to get them. Now, go on back in Faye's room, Cherry, and take them off.
If I do, then can I see Joe?
Yep, so hurry up.
Guess you'll have to put on something of mine.
No, I won't.
Then how about me going up and getting something for her out of her room?
Nope, you can't do that. But Reggie can.
Oh, look here
Now, go on, Reggie's. Pajamas and a bathrobe. Anything you can find.
Now I'm a ballet lady's maid, and I resent it.
Okay, get inside and shove things through a crack in the door, fast as they come off.
All right, here, I'll help you, Cherry. What's the idea, anyway?
Probably wants to examine them for clues.
Here you are.
Okay, a dress.
What's he expect to find? Slip.
I don't know. Slip.
Your shoes.
Shoes.
Stockings.
Yeah, stockings.
All right, here you are.
A top doodad. A bottom doodad. That all?
Isn't that enough? What do you want, her skin?
Oh, did you get something, Reggie?
There's a whole armful of stuff. She should find something in this.
Yes, she ought to, all right. Here you are, Faye.
What? All this?
Well, she don't have to put it all on.
That's good of you. All right, get into some of this junk, Mouse, then you can go and see the good-natured drunk.
I'd better take these clothes down to Jack.
Stick around until she goes across to Job's room. Where is Jack?
Down the library. He's got quite a collection of stuff down there.
Such as what?
I didn't get much chance to examine it. Things he's picked up around the house.
Well, anyway, you don't look quite so bedraggled now. All right, boys, let's go.
Hurry. I've waited too long now.
Okay. Come on. You better come along, too, Faye.
So you can keep an eye on me?
Yeah, something like that. Okay, now, Cherry. We'll give you 5 minutes with him.
That's all I want.
All right, Job, here's a visitor. Hey.
Doc, what is it?
Well, where the heck is he?
He's gone. I knew he was. I knew it.
Well, why the heck didn't you say so then? How'd he get out?
Here's how he got out, opened the window, and slid down the drain pipe.
Well, that's great. Jack's going to be mighty proud of us.
But look here. Why would he want to do a thing like that for?
Silly question number one.
What you mean?
You didn't think Brother Job would stay put without plenty of liquid refreshment, did you?
You mean he sneaked out for a few snorts?
But he shouldn't have. He must come back right away. He must.
Why must he?
They'll get him. They'll get him this time. I know they will.
Is that what you wanted to tell him?
Yes. I wanted to tell him to stay here where you could watch him. They're just waiting.
Reggie, get downstairs and tell Jack what's happened.
Right. Don't leave the girls alone for a minute, Doc.
Come on, you two. Get back into Faye's room.
Come on, Mouse.
Why did he go?
Because he likes the taste of the stuff.
He's breaking Grandma's heart.
Well, Grandma broke his spirit. Turnabout's fair play.
No, you mustn't say that, Faye.
Hey, wait a minute. I want to look in and see if Hope's all right. You two wait right here by the door so as I can see you all the time. Don't neither of you move. Yeah, she's all right. Poor little feller. Keep right on sleeping, honey.
She's all right?
Yeah, sleeping like a baby. All right, come on back to your room.
Say, how much longer you three super sleuths think you're going to keep us undercover?
Until Jack says to let you act.
Well, I'm getting pretty sick of being a prisoner in my own house.
We're just doing it for your own good.
It isn't any good locking us up.
It ain't, huh?
No. When they want to strike, they'll strike whether you're here or not.
And what you think we'll be doing all that time?
Won't make any difference what you're doing. If you understood, you'd know that.
Well, then, why don't you come out and make us understand?
You can't. Nobody understands but me.
She's psychic.
I don't know. I just know, that's all.
Well, all I gotta say is, if you hadn't told us so much that's come true already, I'd say you were the screwiest screwball dame I ever did see. You wasn't so little and purty along with it.
Hey, here comes Reggie back. He's going to get mighty sick of those stairs if this keeps up.
How about it, Reggie? What's Jack say?
He's going out to find Job. While he's gone, he doesn't want us to leave the girls for a second.
Oh, stick right with him, huh?
Right, I'm to go and sit in my Hope's bed and stay right beside her.
And I'm to chaperone Faye and Cherry, huh?
Right, go in Faye's room with them. Don't let either one of them out of your sight.
What about Grandma upstairs?
Oh, leave her alone. She won't be bothered. It's the girls that are in danger.
Oh, no.
Hey, what's the matter?
They did it. They did it again. Look.
Her shoulder. She's been slashed again.
Yes, they did it. They did it.
Cherry, how did it happen?
I don't know. I was just standing here. I felt a sting on my shoulder.
She's been slashed, all right. Just like the
But
others.
it isn't possible. We were all standing right here. There isn't anyone else.
Yes, there is. They were here. They were here.
Cherry, stop it.
They slashed me. They slashed me.
other transcribed adventures of Jack, Doc, and Reggie will come to you tomorrow at this same hour. I Love a Mystery, written and directed by Carlton E. Morse, comes to you Monday through Friday, featuring Russell Thorson as Jack, Jim Bowles as Doc Long, and Tony Randall as Reggie York. Frank McCarthy speaking.
All right, folks, we're back with you on the Glowing Dial Live, Episode 9 on this 18th day of February, 2018. I'm here with my co-host, Greg, who you can't see because he's on Skype right now. So, how are you, Greg?
Yo.
Did you enjoy that episode of I Love a Mystery?
I thought it was rather mysterious.
Mysterious. That was Tony Randall you heard in there.
Oh, I always liked Tony Randall.
Some 20 years before he was the annoying Felix Unger. Well, it depends on your point of view which of the odd couple was annoying. Oscar in his slobbiness or Felix in his obsessive-compulsive neatness.
Let's see. If I had to pick between the two, I'd probably be more drawn toward Tony Randall's character.
Both of them had their moments, of course.
Oh yeah,
which made them the odd couple. Now that was a show that's been remade. I think they redid the stage play a few times, and they tried to redo it with black actors in the 80s or 90s. I think it was. I think Ron Glass was one of them. Remember him as Detective Harris on Barney Miller.
Let me guess. He was Felix.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the other guy was.
Yeah,
but it didn't last long.
He would be the right character for that.
It didn't last long at all. So
just like when they tried to revive All in the Family, which also they did it with a cast of black actors,
and it was called 704 Hauser Street instead of All in the Family.
Right. That's true. But what was neat was that they used the same set from the original series, so that was cool.
Well, who'd have thought all the flats and everything from the set would still be in existence? And they might, some of them may have gone to the Smithsonian Institute. I know Archie's chair did.
Oh yeah, they probably rebuilt it, but it sure looked the same.
Like the original 18-foot model of the Enterprise from the classic series is in the Smithsonian too.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah, I'm sure Roddenberry didn't think that it was going to have the life that it did. It still does, because Paramount, that's their cash cow. Mm-hmm. Paramount needs another hit. Let's revive another Star Trek story, and...
don't get me started there.
And now the new one you have to pay to watch.
Yeah.
I think maybe CBS probably could have used that on their regular schedule. I don't know what their ratings are anymore, because I don't know if ratings mean a whole lot anymore. It used to just be the big three networks. NBC, CBS,
ABC,
and ABC, yeah.
Yeah.
And in some areas close to Canada, the CBC, but...
Right.
They never had enough stuff that I liked, really, on CBC, so... Anyway... Kite Flyer Mike has just joined us in the chat room. Hello there, Mike. Glad you could join us.
Is Mike on the mic? Nope.
No, he's in the chat room.
He's in the chat room.
And he says, for that reason, I'm not watching. I'm wondering what reason you're referring to, Mike. You just can't stand to see my pretty face up here. And you can't see Greg's, of course. We don't have the money for you to be able to see anybody coming in via Skype, unfortunately. But, if we had several hundred more dollars, maybe $500 would probably do it. Get the monitor and the stand for it to, the stand with the wheels on it. Hint. Make it a 4K while you're at it. Might as well bring Greg's face to you in 4K.
Oh, Lord help them all.
I heard on Leo Laporte's, that's again the Twit Network, his Tech Guy podcast, he had Scott Wilkerson, who's with the Home Theater Geeks, which is another podcast on that network, talking about all the stuff he saw at the CES. And yes, there were prototypes of 8K sets.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And 4K hasn't even taken a foothold. But they got 8K, so I mean, then they
4K,
talked. Oh, go ahead.
4K is actually fairly common nowadays.
Not in my house.
No, or mine either. But if you go to the, now if you go to any of the big stores, the electronic stores and such, 4K is pretty much almost the majority of what they got. In terms of the larger sets.
But you know what they've abandoned, and I'm kind of sorry they did, is because I never got a chance to experience it, is 3D.
Black and white?
3D.
Oh, no, I'm glad they abandoned it.
None of the new... I never even got a chance to see how good it was, if it was.
It wasn't. That wasn't. That's the problem, is that they never were able to come up with a technology that would work on regular TV. Outside of one person, because the field of view was you had to be sitting directly in front. So anything off to the side, forget it. And they just haven't been able to crack that nut. But that's
all right.
That's the present. I do have some interesting info regarding 1948, the date that we're doing our shows here.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you're interested.
Yes, I am interested. You took the time to do the research, so I'm going to let you have your spotlight.
All right. Well, first off, all right, so in 1948, so the first thing is fashion. Let's talk fashion for a moment. Things were starting to change, getting more daring, with bikinis gaining in popularity. Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. The bikinis were gaining popularity slowly. And then going from there, we have into architecture, the first prefab post-war housing to solve housing shortages were starting to appear, both in Europe and the U.S., because they could be built quickly to accommodate the growing need, and they were cheap to build, and they were cheap for people to buy. The quality wasn't, great, but they did enable the baby boomers after the war by providing young couples with a home to start their family. In Europe, let's go to Europe now. The Cold War was taking a new turn when the Soviet Union blockaded West Berlin and Germany on June 24th, and the U.S. countered with an 11-month airlift of food and supplies. Also due to demand and inflationary pressure, prices rose, and many believed that governments should bring back some price controls. And televisions are appearing in more and more homes. All right, so that's some of the events that went on in 1948. Back to you, John.
Right as I'm typing into the chat room. No, Mike in the chat room says he wasn't referring to I'm not watching the podcast. He was not watching for that reason the Star Trek series, because they are charging for it.
Exactly.
So he agrees with us.
Absolutely. And from what I've been hearing, they made Star Trek Discovery as the cornerstone for that service. And from what I'm hearing on various boards and such, it's not working out as well as they had hoped. So who knows? Maybe for the next season, if there is a next season, there's been 2 seasons. They finished 2 seasons, and so maybe for the next one, they might consider going over the air, get it back to so that everybody could enjoy it.
Yeah, but then those people are going to be joining the series without having seen the first 2 seasons and are going to miss a lot of references.
Maybe they'll put it up. Well, maybe they'll put it on their website, so people can catch up. Who knows? When it comes to the networks, they do crazy stuff. You just never know.
Well, they always have, putting Star Trek on at 10 at Fridays. The death slot.
Yeah, season 3 of the original series.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. And that was actually very a very planned thing to do on NBC's part, because they wanted that show gone. The only reason it didn't leave after the first season was because so many people wrote in and demanded, another season. So they said, okay, fine. So when the second season ended, there was another write-in campaign because there was also rumors about it being gone for a third season. People wrote in. It worked again. But this time, they made sure, like you said, they put it in the worst possible spot. And so they got their wish.
Yep, well, unfortunately, but,
considering the quality of the episodes of the last season, and I can't say I blame them, but, well, there's a whole story behind that as well. And that's probably not the right venue for that.
No, I was going to say, we've gotten our mileage out of Star Trek for this episode of The Glowing Dial. If Star Trek happened to have been a radio show, then we would have more to talk about, And
trouble is, we're a couple of guys. We do OTR stuff, but we're also kind of got another foot into the future and whatnot. So it's sometimes we kind of shuffle back and forth.
Yeah, we do. We go off on tangents and cosines and things like that, but we think our audience forgives us.
And if it does, it's like, hey, let's back off on the current stuff, stick with the OTR stuff, let us know. We'll accommodate you. We're pretty flexible.
Yeah. So let me at this point repeat our trivia question now that we've got Mike listening in, and he's in the chat room too. And Kimba's not there, Mike, so you might have a chance at winning this thing.
That's right. If Kimba shows up, though, you're dead.
You're dead meat, my friend.
You're dead.
All right, today's trivia question for the USB flash drive of drama old-time radio programs is as follows. Radio producer and director Hyman Brown helped dramatic radio make a comeback between 1974 and 1982. Now, it's a three-part question. I need all three parts of this before we can declare a winner here. What was the name of the series he created? Who were the two hosts? Yes, there were two. And what trademark sound effect did he revive from the golden age of radio?
I'm very interested in that last one.
Okay, are you? All right. You don't have an idea at this point, then?
Not a clue. Not a clue.
I was a listener to this program at a certain point back then. I had actually gotten saved some episodes from there. So I have my favorites. This is some of the first ones that I've heard of it. So once again, radio producer and director Hyman Brown helped dramatic radio make a comeback between 1974 and 1982. Pardon my breath. I need a belt switch.
Just let it all out.
I'll pin the meters. I really will. And then I'll have to wipe the mic off. What was the name of the series he created? Who were the two hosts? And what trademark sound effect did he revive from the golden age of radio? So there we go.
The Wilhelm scream.
No, Greg, no. I'll say that's no. Now, following up on Greg's 1948 information he gave, I think we're going to present a show from 70 years ago today. And that's guaranteed, not like the last episode of The Glowing Dial Live when I got my dates mixed up. I was preparing the show on one day, so I went and announced, I set up the show from so-and-so years ago today. I set it up for the day that I was creating and writing up prepping the show, not the day that it was going to be broadcast. So, apologies for that. But if you're a regular listener to the show, mistakes abound. So anyway, we're going to present right now an episode of a program from 70 years ago today. It's going to be an episode of the Jimmy Durante Show with special guest star Victor Moore. It's from Wednesday, February 18th, 1948, originally over NBC. The sponsor was Rexall. And, of course, it features Jimmy Durante, Arthur Treacher, without his fish and chips, Peggy Lee, Candy Candido, the aforementioned Victor Moore, and Howard Petrie is announcing. So that's the details on that, and we're going to bring you that show, and then we're going to come back and probably get you some celebrity birthdays for today. So I think
it's
we
your
got
birthday. It's your birthday.
You want to go on with that?
No, not really.
No, not really. Okay. I was going to let you have the opportunity.
It's just not the same without the visual.
That's true. But this time, you'll be happy to know that we don't have the music in the background, so you can take your time with the list. There's only 6 or 7 names because it's just for one day, not like the podcast.
For those who don't know what that means, check out some of the older shows from a few years ago, and you'll find out real quick.
You'll hear Greg rushing through the birthdays to try to beat the music. And
yeah, well, how long was it?
Oh, I don't know. It was 3
like
3 minutes and something. No, it was 3 minutes and something. We extended it.
And you think that would be enough, but man, I was hard pressed.
It was 21 birthdays because it's a 3-week period, so we did one per day. And
right.
Even Steve was rushed for it, and I said, you know what? Let's not torture these guys anymore. Let's just eliminate the music, take our time, and comment on a particular celebrity if we want to. So we'll have that for you coming back. But right now, sit back, close your eyes, and remember the Jimmy Durante Show with guest star Victor Moore from Wednesday, February 18th, 1948, originally over NBC.
Good health to all from Rexall. From Hollywood, it's the Jimmy Durante Show.
A-dink-a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee. Oh, what a tune! A-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee.
Yes, 10,000 Rexall drugstores who carry the complete line of top-quality Rexall drug products bring you the Jimmy Durante Show with Peggy Lee, Candy Candido, Roy Bargy and his orchestra, the Crew Chiefs Quartet, yours truly, Howard Petrie, and that bashful little butterball, Victor Moore. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, back from Florida, where he attended the wedding of the season, the one and only Jimmy Durante in Benton.
Start off each day with a song. Even when things go wrong, you feel better, you even look better. How do you like that? Rockefeller went away on his honeymoon and forgot to turn off his oil wells. Don't worry, folks, he's got to be back in 24 hours. He was married in a rented tuxedo.
You lucky, lucky schnoz, being at the wedding of Winthrop Rockefeller and Barbara Sears. Tell me, who gave Barbara Sears away?
Roebuck, who else? Now they're going to settle down and raise their own little catalogs.
Oh, what a lavish wedding that must have been, Jim. Winthrop Rockefeller is one of the wealthiest men in the country.
I'll say he's wealthy. At the wedding breakfast, they serve nothing but money. Tell me, who wrote that in there? I don't mind a joke flopping, but I hate to face those comedians in the Brown Derby tomorrow morning.
Say, tell me, Jimmy, what part...
Wait a minute, I got another line here. And just my luck, it's not on my diet. The doctor says I'm not allowed to have greens.
Jimmy, what part did you take in the ceremony? Were you one of the ushers?
No, Howard. I think the ushers were all gas station attendants.
Gas station attendants? Well, what makes you think so?
Well, as I walked down the aisle, one of them grabbed my nose and said, "I'll look under the hood and check your oil, sir." I was so burnt up, I walked on without letting them clean my eyeglasses. But the wedding trip to Florida was just a Durante diversion. While I was at the betrothal, I picked up some inside information about President Truman.
You did, huh? Well, what about Truman? Is he going to run?
Is Truman going to run? He ain't building that balcony for Dewey. But you know, Mr. Prune Tree?
What's that?
Mr. Prune Tree, there's been a lot of talk and no action about the new look. Well, if I'm elected vice president, I guarantee one thing. I'll abolish the new look. Why, with the long dresses they're wearing, you can't tell any more if the girls are bow-legged.
Well, what's so terrible about that, Jim?
Howard, at my age, when I sit on their laps, I can't gamble on falling true. Durante, you must have been living on a candy bar. You're full of the old Nick tonight.
Well, Jimmy, I'm glad you brought up that problem. That would interest the women voters, you know. Because standing here beside me now to interview you is a young lady from the Associated Press.
How do you do, miss? I have your nom de plume, but who may you be?
My name is Hot Breath Houlihan.
Don't stand so close. You just baked my Adam's apple.
I might be able to help you politically. You know, I'm responsible for the third party.
You're responsible for the third party?
Yeah. Who do you think was walking in front of Wallace when he decided to run?
You know, I thought he was a little out of breath when he made his speech of acceptance. But tell me, Hot Brett, what do you think of my chances of getting the women's vote?
Ah, the women are gonna go for you, Muscles. I ought to know. You're beginning to get under my skin.
I better not. It's pretty crowded under there as it is. Look, couldn't we get back to politics, Miss Houlihan? Tell me, do you think I'd make a good vice president?
Oh, I'm sure of it. Why, when I look at you, I can see America written all over your face.
You can?
Your forehead, strong and noble like the high Sierras. Your cheeks, soft and downy like the bluegrass of Kentucky. And your chin jutting out like the rock-bound coast of Maine.
That's a lovely trip around my profile, but you skipped Pike's Peak. Look, Miss Houlihan, why don't you just say in your story that Durante stands on his record of clean, honest government?
Well, that's all right for the proletariat. But how do you stand on cultural matters?
When it comes to that, I'm a vulture for culture. I have a season pass at the Metropolitan Opera House. Let me tell you about it. Seeking my favorite diversion last night and feeling in the pink, I steps into my plush-upholstered hansom. With my 2 footmen commanding the poop deck and my Arabian steeds going at a gentle trot, we approaches the theater marquee, and what happens? The red carpet is rolled out. My 2 footmen descend from the poop deck. They open the door, and I steps out. Looking up from the gutter, I said, "Who told you to remove the running board?" Picking myself up and ignoring the stares of the hoi pollou, I makes my entrance gallantly into the Diamond Horseshoe. I looks around. Mrs. Van Schuyler is whispering to Mrs. Murray Hill. Mrs. Murray Hill is whispering to Mrs. Susquehanna. And what are they saying?
Is it a bird?
Is it a plane?
Is it Superman?
No, it's a bum.
You see, a vicious rumor's been circulated just because I work in a saloon. They say I'm not fit to mingle in any other circle. That's ridiculous. Nightclubs is just a Mr. Hyde part of me. You have yet to meet the Dr. Jekyll. I'm Durante, the patron of the arts, an opera critic and a man of parts. Last week I went to the opera. I loved it. All but one scene. That's where the 350-pound soprano sings to the baritone. She sings, "Take me in your arms and hold me close." Why, to hold her close, the bum would have to be curved like a banana. Those opera lovers all rave at Handel's Largo. Why, I've heard better music written by Umbriago. Now, what I say may sound absurd, but believe me, it's true. I've seen every opera, and I'll name them for you. Tales of the Vienna Rolls, Madame Buttermilk, and the Sextet from Leashy Nuts. I coach sopranos and tenors in their parts, 'cause I'm Durante, the patron of the arts. Now, just the other day, they held a meeting at the Metropolitan in the cellar. They said, "Jimmy, we're in a hole. You gotta help us out." Stepping up on a soapbox, left over from La Boheme, I said, "Gentlemen, let's analyze this. Now take Romeo and Juliet. Romeo wants to kiss Juliet. But does he say, slip me a smacker, sister? No, he says, give me a kiss, my love. A burning kiss upon the lips. A burning kiss, a kiss upon the lips. A burning kiss, a kiss upon the lips. A burning kiss. By the time the guy's ready to kiss her, the fire is out. Facing the committee, I said there's only one way to save the opera. Get yourself new lyrics that are very chee-chee. Like, you can have him, I don't want him. He's too fat for me. They all gave thanks from the bottom of their hearts. To Durante, the patron of the arts. A Kamasura, Durante, the patron of the arts. If you want to be sure that the product is pure when you ask for a drug preparation, buy the Rexall line at the Rexall sign of Rexall identification.
Did you know that more than 2,000 different drug products bear the name Rexall? That's a big family indeed, and a highly respected one, too. For in millions of American homes, the familiar name Rexall has come to mean the utmost in quality, purity, and reliability. So for any and for all of your drug needs, always buy Rexall. Have confidence in what that name means. Quality, purity, and reliability in drug products. Get them at Rexall drugstores throughout the nation, where 25% of America buys its drug needs.
If you want to be sure that the product is pure when you ask for a drug preparation, buy the Rexall line at the Rexall sign of Rexall identification.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Well done, Mr. Petrie. And folks, I'd just like to remind you that there are Rexall stores all over the country, north, east, and west.
You forgot about the South, Jimmy.
Of course, we have Rexall stores in the South, too. But down there, they call them Rexall stores. Durante, if you weren't so handsome, you'd make a good comedian.
Jimmy, before you go any further, there's a message here for you from your friend, Mr. Ripple, the Commissioner of Rivers and Waterways.
You mean the guy with the moist voice?
Yeah. He's out of town, so he sent the message over with his little boy, Trickle.
Oh, that's fine. It's good to see you again, son.
Well, how do you do?
He looks like a trickle and sounds like a cloudburst. But, now what was the message your father gave me for me?
He says he can help you in politics.
How can your father help me in politics?
Well, he's the guy who made Tom Dewey.
Dewey is right. What a family. With you and your father both talking like that, it must be pretty moist around your house.
Moist? I was 5 years old before I found out I wasn't a duck.
Go ahead with your next line. Toodaloo. Say it. Well, you know something, Howard? You know, it's lucky he left. I forgot to wear my goulashes today. Now, we now present Mr. Charles Boyer, the star of the Arch of Triumph.
Hello?
You mean to stand there and tell me you're the star of the Arch of Triumph?
Oh, it's a triumph. I'm standing here with my arches.
Victor Moore! Ah, Victor, you cuddlesome cut-up, you. You look younger every day. How do you do it?
It's the soap I use. Every day I wash and wash and wash.
Do you really use a lot of soap?
I'll say 2 more cakes and I'm a Woodbury bride.
That's going to be quite a blow to the Woodbury groom. But, Victor, there seems to be a shadow on your suburb face. Unburden yourself.
Well, every week on this show you sing. Peggy Lee sings and Candy Candino sings. But I've never had a chance, so tonight I'm going to sing.
Go ahead.
All of me, why not take all of me? I'll bid 84.
I'll bid 86. I'll bid 92.
Since the market dropped, those waste-fat buyers won't leave me alone.
Victor, I'd never let them melt you down. But if you really want to sing on this show, I'm the guy to give you some pointers.
You can?
Yeah, I've coached a lot of singers. John, Charles, and Thomas, to name 3.
Well, Jimmy, John Charles Thomas is only one guy.
How do you like that? I gave those other 2 bums lessons for nothing.
Well, I think my voice would add something around here, Jimmy. You know, I've got a lot of volume. Why, I can hit a note so loud it'll break windows in a house a mile away.
Victor, you're exaggerating. It's impossible for a note to break a window in a house a mile away.
Oh, yeah? Listen. Oh, I'm sorry, madam. I didn't know you were in there.
You know something? I wish it was Stalin's window. We'd all like to see what's going on in the Kremlin. But, Victor, I think you better leave the singing of this show to a gal who really knows her business. Here she comes now, our own Peggy Lee.
Hi, Jimmy.
Peggy, it's good to see you. And let me be the first to felicitate you on your opening at Ciro's last night.
Well, thank you, Jameson, but I expected to see you there. And how come you didn't show up, Victor?
I wanted to, but it was the night of my Boy Scout meeting.
Well, what's your excuse, Jimmy?
The Girl Scouts were meeting, too. I love that kind of carrier job.
Well, opening at Ciro's is really a thrill, Jimmy. When I left the bandstand, I was so excited I tripped and fell right in Sidney Greenstreet's lap.
Why, Peggy, that must have been awful.
I'll say it was. I was aiming for Cary Grant.
Well, Peggy, Jimmy and I are going to do the town tonight. We'll drop in at Ciro's and see you.
Yeah, and tell the bubble dancers not to worry. I put a kink in Victor's bean shooter. Now relax, Victor, while Peggy gives us a sample of what we can expect tonight.
Love is funny, or it's sad, or it's quiet, or it's mad. It's a good thing, or it's bad, but beautiful. Beautiful to take a chance, and if you fall, you fall. And I'm thinking I wouldn't mind at all. Love is tearful, or it's gay. It's a problem, or it's play. It's a heartache either way, but beautiful. And I'm thinking, if you were mine, I'd never let you go. And that would be but beautiful, I know. And I'm thinking, if you were mine, I'd never let you go. And that would be but beautiful, beautiful, I know.
Here's a 60-second story from the Rexall Laboratory.
The typical of the care and precision taken with all Rexall drug products is the spectrophotometer. Until comparatively recently, the only way to measure the potency of vitamin A was by making long, involved, and not too accurate laboratory tests on animals. But today, in the Rexall Control Laboratory, the spectrophotometer measures vitamin A potency instantly and accurately. Vitamin A is placed on the instrument's prisms in the path of a ray of light. A meter measures the amount of light absorbed by the vitamin A, and this in turn measures its potency. The spectrophotometer can't make a mistake. It's your guarantee that Rexall vitamin A products meet Rexall's high standards of accuracy. And it's one more reason why your Rexall druggist can say, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
So for any and for all of your household drug needs, always buy Rexall at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
If you want to be sure that the product is pure when you ask for a drug preparation, buy the Rexall line at the Rexall sign of Rexall identification.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Victor, we'll soon be there. There's Ciro's right down the street. Put on your dark glasses. I don't want him to know I'm not with a girl.
Well, if it'll help, Jimmy, I'll take the carnation out of my lapel and put it in my hair.
Not a bad idea. Victor, I'm going to park on the street. That way we can save a quarter. I'll back in there between those two cars.
But, Jimmy, you can't park there. The space is too small.
Don't be silly. There's plenty of room. Here goes.
That's funny. I'd have swore there wasn't room enough. Take this fender off my lap and let's go in.
Okay. Xavier Cugat. That's what I like, hillbilly music.
But, Jimmy, we'll never get a table. They've got the ropes up.
Don't worry, we'll get a table. You're with Durante, the cream of the homogenized set.
Check your things, gentlemen.
Yeah, here's my stuff.
Good. I'll take your hat, your coat, your gloves, your cane, your scarf, your vest, and your sweater.
When she gets to my tattoo, there's going to be a struggle.
Please, miss, may I have my hat back? My head is still in it.
Stop it, Victor. Now, what's my technique in getting the table? Oh, Pancho.
Oui, monsieur.
My name is Jimmy Durante, and I want the best table in the house. Here's 2 bits for you and the boys.
Qu'est-ce que c'est cassé, monsieur? Oh, Pierre!
Oui, François.
J'en tout passé avec pour que la plumerie, je vous aime 2 bits.
Sacre bleu, le jour de soirée de la part, je ne sais pas, cheapskate.
Boy, I sure made an impression. That's my trouble, I spoil people. Well, Pancho, what about the table?
Yeah, what about our table?
Voila. Only the best for monsieur. At Ciro's, we seat everyone according to their importance. Next table back.
Next table back. Next table back.
Next table back.
Next table back. Next table back!
Well, as long as we're in here, let's wash our hands.
We're in the kitchen. We're in the kitchen. Durante's surrounded by hors d'oeuvres. Come on, let's get back into the dining room.
Oh, gosh, Jimmy, we're out of place here. Why don't we go home?
What do you mean, out of place? I came formal. I starched my nose. I'm going to get some action. Waiter, I demand to see the owner, Mr. Hover.
Aye, Mr. Hover, and what are you busboys doing out of the kitchen?
Please,
That's enough. Put on your little white coats and get back to work.
Jimmy, what do we do now?
Don't just stand there. Pass me the dirty dishes.
Oh, look, Jimmy, there's Peggy Lee over at the next table. Oh, Peggy! Peggy!
Hello, fellas. Gee, I'm glad you made it. Sit down over here. I saved this table for you.
Peggy, you just came in the nick of time. This is more like it. And might I say, that's a beautiful off-the-shoulder evening gown you're wearing.
Why, thanks, Jimmy. It's my favorite. It brings out my eyes.
It brings out mine, too.
Well, have a good time, boys. The show goes on in a minute. I'll see you later. So long.
Pardon, monsieur. Miss Lee ordered dinner sent over for you. The finest Eastern lobster.
Well, just a minute. How much is it?
$27.
$27? That's ridiculous.
But, monsieur, this lobster was flown here from New York on the Constellation.
Take it back and bring me one that hitchhiked. After all, a lobster is only a salmon wrapped as a gift.
Jimmy, forget the dinner. Here comes the Hindu fortune teller. Let's have our fortunes read, huh?
Capital idea. Say, Mr. Fortune Teller, I'm a little curious. Do you wear that veil over your face because you're a real Hindu?
No, it keeps the flies off.
Why, it's Candy Candida. What are you doing as a Hindu fortune teller? Trying to pick up an extra buck?
What difference does it make? Let him read our fortunes.
Yeah, this is a gay night, and I'm feeling high, believe me.
You're right, Jimmy. It must be the Coca-Cola. I'm feeling high, too.
Wait till you get the check, you'll be feeling mighty low.
You know something, Victor? I'm glad he left. He had his turban on my coffee.
Was that a turban? I thought his head was unraveling.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The management of Ciro's is proud to present the star of our show, Miss Peggy Lee.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. But before I start, I have a special treat for you this evening. We have with us those two sophisticated singers of songs, Jimmy Durante and Victor Moore.
Come on, Victor. I got a number that'll murder the people. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start a review for you.
For you.
That's my glee club. But we'll not start a review off with the customary hello.
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 Hello. Hello, Ora. Hello, Bob. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Wait a minute. There's a guy going in business for himself. So to be different, we'll not start our act off with the customary hello. 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 We'll say hello. How are you? And how do you do? Long time no see. Hello. How are you? We're glad to see you.
I hope you're glad to see me.
We're happy we're here. Hello, George. Hiya, Jack.
We haven't been away, but we're glad to be back. Hello. How are you? And how do you do? Long time no see. Hello. How are you? And how do you do?
Gee, that Rockefeller was lucky to get that girl.
Why was he lucky? He was one of the wealthiest bachelors in the world.
Yes, but don't forget she had an apartment.
Hello. How are you? And how do you do?
Just a second. Hold on there.
Uh-oh, here comes the boss.
Well, if he can sing bass, we'll put him in the act.
Ciro's hired you, Miss Lee. Please ask these two lowbrow entertainers to leave immediately, and by the back door.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry, fellows.
Don't be sorry, Peggy. We planned it this way.
You planned it this way?
Sure. How else could we get out without paying the check? Goodbye. So long now. We'll be seeing you. We're on our way
without paying.
We're on our way. Good health to all from Rexall. We hope you're feeling fine. So always call for Rexall where you see the Rexall sign.
Remember, 25% of America buys its drug needs in Rexall drugstores. Rexall is that large and respected family of more than 2,000 different drug products. You can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall. Available in Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Touche, Howard, and I'd like to add, I do my shopping at a Rexall store, buying Rexall drugs, and furthermore, Umbriago, he prefers them too. We buy Rexall, that's all. How about you? Let me hear that high note.
Well, Rexall for tonight, folks. Victor Moore will be back with us next week. Also, Peggy Lee, Candy Candido, Roy Bargy, the Crew Chiefs Quartet, yours truly, Howard Petrie.
And Jimmy Durante in person, who says good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. And watch for my picture in Look magazine this week on the Vasticating. Get well, Dora, and get well, Bargy. Get out of that hospital.
This program is produced and directed by Phil Cohan. Good health to all from Rexall.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Jimmy Durante Show from 70 years ago today with Victor Moore. That was February 18th, 1948, over NBC, and you heard the chimes there. Those bring back some memories, too. Greg and I were alive long enough to hear those chimes back when they were on the network. On TV, of course, you know.
During the black and white days.
Yeah, it was black and white for us till 1974, because that's when the old man bought a color set. Finally.
I don't think we had ours until, believe it or not, I think we got our first color set around 1980, 81, somewhere in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were underprivileged longer than I was.
My mom kept saying, we don't need color, everything, look, it's fine. We know what everything is, you know. Oh, well. She was not a technology person.
Neither were my folks. No.
She didn't even want to dial phone.
She would get along with my folks. She would get along with them on that level.
A push button. She did not want a push button phone. She liked the dial phone.
She probably wanted the old-fashioned light switches where you turn the, instead of the flip, the levers type. They had a little knob type.
With
bare wires.
We did have that. We did have that. Amazingly enough.
But my folks, if they could have bought a TV that just tuned in Channel 4 in black and white, and a radio that just tuned in WJR on the AM dial, they probably would have bought them. Because that's all that there was, you know. Well, occasionally switching over to another network, maybe, but, you know. I used to have to... Dad used to get home about 5, so if I was lucky, I got to see the opening act to Lost in Space in color. Then I was brushed out of there into my room where I had the little black and white set to have to watch the rest of it. Because he was not a sci-fi person. Neither of them were.
Yeah, same here.
I made him take me to see Star Wars when everybody in the country had seen it but me. You know. And the cantina sequence opens up, and you know what that one is like, right? And I know right. Mike's in our chat room's a Star Wars fan. He knows the sequence I'm talking about. A lot of the corner of my eye, I see the old man looking over at me with that look like, what the hell did you... That? Exactly. What did you bring me to? I said, well, the same stuff you grew up with. It's Flash Gordon, it's Buck Rogers, just with a bigger budget. He didn't get it.
Oh, well.
But anyway... I wanted to wish Jack Benny a happy belated birthday, by the way. February 14th, Valentine's Day, was Jack's birthday. Now, you'd think we'd have something in the live show for Jack, but we did in the podcast. So we played a couple things for Jack there. So happy birthday, Jack. And, I was thinking about Groundhog Day. That was the beginning of the month.
The movie.
Oh, you're thinking of the movie. I'm thinking about the regular thing. Did you ever put any stock into that superstition that if he sees his shadow, you have another, 6 weeks of winter?
Of course not.
No. I didn't think so. You're a very left-brained individual.
Some might even say pedantic.
Some might say it if they knew what it meant. But anyway, I don't.
We strive for higher education here.
Although the word was used in Arthur Clarke's story The Sentinel to be pedantic. I'm not sure what it means. It means to be logical, to be... You tell me what it means. You used it.
I was afraid you'd do that.
Yeah.
You're basically right. To be logical, to be methodical, some would say maybe stiff, to use a vernacular. Do you want me to go with vernacular?
I've never worn one.
Oh.
Vernacular? It's a doiby.
I had a pair of vernacular blinds.
I thought it was a type of lens you look through, I got a new pair of vernaculars I'm looking through, and things are a lot sharper now.
Thanks to
As are my notes, which I have to do this with sometimes. I print them large enough so I don't have to. I can read them from a distance. A bit of a distance.
From a distance. Excuse me.
Yeah, that needs a big excuse there. Believe me. All right, you know what? We have a winner.
Well, it's just the howls that bother me.
Oh.
And who could that winner be?
Well, for a change, it's not Makimba. I don't even see her in the chat room, so I don't even know if she's listening in today. She might have some family things to deal with.
If she's not in a chat room, then she's elsewhere.
Which is why Mike won the contest.
Kind of a hollow victory, huh, Mike?
He won this. Here it is, Mike. Here it
too
is.
high.
Reach out and grab. Well, he's not
Too
watching,
high.
so he's. This is this
okay.
USB
Hey.
stick that he just won. It's
Yeah, 'cause you were just showing me your forearm there.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I was aiming for the other
You won
camera.
John's forearm.
I was aiming for the camera that's actually putting us on YouTube and Facebook right now.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry. I keep.
I'm
thinking
not
it's
done
two
with my
separate
forearm yet.
Right, right.
No, but Mike has probably already emailed me his address, which I'm going to need to send this out to him. But, Mike, we'll get this out to you just as soon as possible. You won a USB flash drive of 15 or so drama programs from the Golden Age of Radio and from the Glowing Dial archives. Our compliments.
And the drama is waiting to get it.
Now, the question was, radio producer and director Hyman Brown helped dramatic radio make a comeback between 1974 and 1982. What was the name of the series he created? Who were the two hosts that I knew of? He gave me 3. And what trademark sound effect did he revive from the Golden Age of Radio? The answers are the CBS Radio Mystery Theater, which I discovered in about 1979.
Ooh.
E.G. Marshall was the original host, then Tammy Grimes toward the end. And Mike said he also remembers Cicely Tyson doing some hosting for that. And that is possible. Now that he mentioned it, I think probably he's right. And the sound effect was the squeaking door from the inner sanctum, which Hyman Brown also created. So there are your answers. And the trivia question is over for today's edition of the Glowing Dial Live. So before we go any further, I think I said I was going to play a show in honor of the winner. Since we don't have the licensure to be able to play the CBS Radio Mystery Theater at this point, I don't know if Mr. Brown has passed away, but I don't know if his.
Oh wait, that's the wrong one.
That's the NBC mystery movie.
Oh right.
Ferranti and Teicher's thing. That's the guy with the flashlight that the ghoul used to do, Ghoulumbo and the Little Rascals and all those, Spencer in Mongolia and all those. The ghoul was a late-night movie host here in the Detroit area. Enough said about that.
Or down in Ohio. I forget. He was in Ohio.
Cleveland.
Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yep. So if you're from Cleveland or the Detroit area, you might recognize the name.
In any area that got a Kaiser broadcasting station in the day, in the late 70s or the 70s and the 80s, at least in the 70s, he was on Channel 50 here in Detroit, which was at that time a Kaiser broadcasting station.
Well, he was also on 20 though too.
Yeah, later on. After 50 kicked him off, they got phone calls from people complaining about him.
They didn't like his boom booms.
Well, you can watch the movies somewhere else on Chiller Theater or something like that. Yeah. If you didn't like the Ghouls Hard Edge, you either liked him or you hated him. One or the other. I don't think there was any real
loved him.
middle
he was so
ground.
different from every other horror movie host at the time.
He was.
But really, come to think of it, the only other host he competed with, if you want to call it that, was Sir Graves Gaslight.
Yeah, Sir Graves. And he was more of a kids. He was family.
Oh, he's
friendly
definitely kids.
for the
Yes.
kids. The Ghoul.
His show was in the afternoon.
Yeah, the Ghoul was on late night. That was my reason to stay up
11:30.
late on a Saturday night.
I loved that show.
Yeah.
Could care less about most of the movies, but I loved watching him.
Well, including the you remember the
Especially
music?
when he threw in he was doing kind of an MST3K kind of thing before MST3K.
With sound effects, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not commenting verbally, but yeah, with sound effects.
Yeah. If a car took off, he put in squealing tires, or a car pulls into a sequence, he'd have a horn, an old-fashioned horn, like a ooga or something like that. And
yeah.
There was Psychomania, the one, the sequence with the frog.
I saw that movie so many times.
Hey, gang, hi. Which was Froggy, a character that he...
Clap your magic twanger over day,
Over
Froggy.
day, yeah. The things he did to Froggy on that show were just... oh, my
yes,
God.
he made ample use of M80s, I will say.
He even did that in his live appearances, which were done in recent years when before Thomas Video locally here went out of business. He used to make some appearances there, and I was at several of those. And watched him blow up a stuffed Froggy with an M80. And I got hit. I was honored. I got hit by a piece of Froggy shrapnel.
All right.
Right about there, it got me. And I said, that stung a little bit, but you know what? That was an honor. That was from the Ghoul. And then
That's right. I'll never bandage this chin again.
Then the cop walked up and said, "Hey, Ghoul, I think we better take it easy on the boom booms for a while there." And the audience all went, "Ooh, aw,"
Authority figures just didn't get him.
Nope. He's in his 60s now. Probably mid to late 60s, and I think he's still making appearances.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah. Once you start something like that, you can't stop it.
Yeah, as long as people still come to see him, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sure his audience is probably, around his age.
Our age, basically.
Yeah, our age, yeah.
Lucky it was a Saturday night, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to stay up late to watch it,
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Anyway, congratulations to Kite Flyer Mike, our contest winner. And, oh, okay, see, he's saying now in the chat room about Makimba, he's saying she did not have a chance. That is the one show I do know something about. Being that it was the show that hooked him, he told me in the chat room there. So, as I said, that War of the Worlds with Orson Welles was what hooked me back when I was 12. And the teacher from school actually let me take that record home back when there was only about 20 minutes of the broadcast available.
Wow.
And that's what hooked me on old radio, and I've been there ever since. And we're still there, and we are about to present a show in honor of our winner, Kite Flyer Mike. Hyman Brown also created Inner Sanctum Mysteries, and that's where the creaking door originally came from. We're going to be playing The Shadow of Death from Tuesday, October 2nd, 1945, originally over CBS. That was sponsored at the time by Lipton Tea and featured Richard Widmark, Santos Ortega, Louis Van Rooten, and Paul McGrath is our host. Of course, Raymond Edward Johnson was also a host earlier on of Inner Sanctum, and both of them had that wicked wit about them. So why don't I get that set up here?
All right. And when we're done, when we come back, I'll have a few fun facts about 1945.
We never got to the celebrity birthday, so we'll do that after Inner Sanctum.
Okay, then.
Because we kind of said we were going to do that now, but then we'll
right.
get to it.
We forgot about that.
We'll get to it right after Inner Sanctum then.
Sorry, 1945.
That's okay. It may we may have another.
Oh yeah, it'll be back.
Yeah. I'll try to let you know in advance so you won't have to look it up at the last minute. Today was a very last-minute start to the program and everything. So
I'm that good. I can look things up real quick.
All right.
And it has nothing to do with the internet.
I went into my devil voice.
Yes. Yes, Mother.
Come in, Mother. That's an in-joke between me and Greg, actually.
Yeah, come back for our Halloween show, and you'll hear plenty of that stuff.
Oh, and you'll hear Kimba and her husband Ron in a couple of things they recorded for us. Kimba does a wicked witch laugh, so I did that.
And what does Ron do?
He did a scary laugh. Like a
Ron laughing enough would be scary.
Yeah, with echo yet, too. Not it's a little better than Sir Graves. It's a little spookier than Sir Graves was. He just went yeah, what was his real name? Lawson. I forget the last name, but he was with Channel 2 locally here.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, enough about that.
You can find him on YouTube, actually.
Yeah, you can. I'm sure.
So
yeah, there are a
few
few
curious about
clips.
what we're talking about. Just go to YouTube and look up Sir Graves Ghastly.
Sir Graves Ghastly, and also while you're there, look up the Ghoul.
Oh yeah.
And his name was Ron Swede. So look that up, and you'll probably see what we were talking about. But don't do it till after the show, huh?
Right.
We want you to hear the rest of the show. So speaking of shows, sit back, close your eyes, and remember Inner Sanctum Mysteries: The Shadow of Death, from Tuesday, October 2nd, 1945, originally over CBS.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup present Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host to welcome you in through the squeaking door. We're having a party tonight for two of my favorite corpses. I call them Romeo and Juliet. They're newly deads, you know. Yes, she's the daughter of a famous society murderer, and he's the pride of the East Side morgue. Oh, they're so happy together in their mausoleum built for two. And you should see the bridal casket.
Shame on you, Mr. Host, making fun of such a tragedy.
But, Mary, it was a touching ceremony. Of course, I stood up for the groom. Naturally, the poor fellow couldn't stand up for himself.
Oh, please. It's an occasion for tears, not for laughter.
That's right, Mary. Why, when the bride appeared wearing her grandmother's shroud, everyone had to be cheered up with Lipton tea.
Now, that's enough. I will not have Lipton's mentioned at a time like that. Lipton tea is for people who know how to enjoy life. These are the folks who really appreciate Lipton's famous brisk flavor. Yes, that word brisk. B-R-I-S-K makes a big difference when you're sitting down to a cup of hot tea. Brisk means that Lipton tea tastes fresh and full-bodied, never flat or wishy-washy. I wish you'd try Lipton's, folks, even if you're not a regular tea drinker, because you just don't know how good tea can be till you know how good Lipton's is.
Well, Mary, let's tee off into tonight's story. It's called The Shadow of Death, and it's an original radio play by that boogie-woogie man, Robert Sloan. Yes, and our star tonight is Richard Widmark, who plays the role of Howard. All set? then turn off the lights and let in the shadow of death. On a lonely dirt road that borders the village cemetery, a single car slows to a stop and parks in the moonless night. Inside it, a man leans back in his seat and reaches for the hand of the girl he loves.
Howard,
Yes, dear?
why did you stop here? The cemetery's right over there.
Oh, I didn't notice.
You drove here last night, too.
Did I?
Yes.
Well, you're not frightened, are you?
Tonight I am. You've been so strange, so far away. I feel as if I hardly know you.
Darling, you mustn't feel that way.
What's the matter, Howard? There's something on your mind.
I'm going away, Marie,
Oh, no.
and I'm not coming back.
Howard, why?
Well, I don't really know if I can explain it. It seems so incredible, and yet I know it must be true.
What?
Something I've discovered about myself. Something strange and frightening, Marie. Wherever I go, I seem to cast a shadow. A shadow of death.
I don't understand.
No, I didn't either at first. I thought it was just a strange coincidence. But it isn't. It's me. I bring death wherever I go.
Oh, Howard, you don't really believe that.
Well, how can I believe anything else? Haven't you noticed what happens to every living thing I have around me?
No.
I can't keep a pet of any kind, a cat or a dog. Even a plant dies when I have it in the house.
Oh, darling, that's just your imagination. You've been working too hard. You need a rest.
No, I'm going away, Marie. I don't want any harm to come to you.
Oh, no, please. Nothing's going to happen to me. This is just...
What's the matter?
Nothing. I was just looking at the flowers in my corsage.
Good heavens. They're dead. You don't believe me either, do you, Doctor?
Well, let's not put it on that basis, Howard. After all, I've been trained to look for the physical causes of death, not the supernatural.
Then what do you think I should do?
Frankly, I'd like you to spend a few weeks away from these surroundings. Go up to the sanitarium I told you about. They'll take good care of you up there.
All right, Doctor. I'll make arrangements to go tomorrow. But I know it won't do any good.
You'll be surprised, Howard. 2 or 3 weeks from now, you look back on this as a...
Yes?
That's strange. Those goldfish in my aquarium. They're all dead.
Tell me the truth, Howard. Are you comfortable here in the sanitarium?
They don't believe me. They don't believe that people die when I dream about them.
People die?
Yes, didn't you know that? Every time I have a dream about someone, it's a sign of death. And the next morning when I wake up, I look in the obituary column and I see the name of the person I dreamt about.
Oh, Howard, what have they done to you here?
Nothing, only they don't believe me. The dreams, I mean. I had to prove it to them this morning. And it made me feel very bad.
What made you feel bad?
The dream I had last night. I killed a man, Marie.
What?
I killed him in my dream.
Oh.
He was a good friend of mine, too. He lived right across the hall.
Oh, Howard, please, you've got to get hold of yourself.
But I'm afraid, Marie. I don't want to dream anymore.
Oh, darling, I can't bear to see you this way.
What way?
I'll get you out of here. I promise, Howard. I'll get you out of here today.
But, Marie, there isn't a chance of getting him out. He may have to stay in this institution for months.
Oh, no. Dr. Gerard, can't you see what's happening to him? He's losing his mind.
Well, I know he's taken a turn for the worse. That's all the more reason for keeping him here. It might be dangerous to discharge him now.
Then why don't you do something to help him?
We're doing everything we can. It's not easy. He persists in thinking he has this strange power of death. Nobody is able to convince him he's wrong.
What about the man across the hall? Howard said they were good friends.
That's another thing. They were good friends. But unfortunately, that man died this morning. morning, Howard. How do you feel today?
Oh, much better, Doctor, much better.
No bad spells last night? No curious moods?
No, I feel fine. Almost well enough to go home.
Let me look at your eyes.
You will let me go home again, won't you, Doctor?
Yes, Howard, of course, of course. You, haven't had any of those dreams lately, have you?
No, not for a long time.
Are you sure?
Well, I did have one last night.
You dreamt that someone was dead?
Yes, I did, but I know it's not true. It can't be true.
Whom did you dream about? Marie?
No, Doctor. I dreamt about you. That's why I know I'm wrong. You're alive, Doctor. Don't you understand? You've proven it to me.
Easy now, Howard. Tell me about your dream.
Well, I dreamt I was going home, and all the people I'd killed in my dreams were alive again.
Yes, go on.
Well, somehow or other, I could see my house from this window, and everything was just as it was a long time ago. The flowers were growing, the dog was in the yard.
The one that was run over?
Yes, everything was well again, and I was well, too. That's why I wanted to go home. But you and Marie's mother didn't want me to.
She was in the dream, Marie's mother?
Yes, I don't know how she happened to be there, but she was.
That's all right, Howard. Go on.
Well, I started to leave, Doctor, but she held me back. She held my arms like this, and then you jumped up to ring the bell for help. But before you reached it, I was on top of you like this.
Oh.
I had my fingers around your throat, and I was squeezing it so hard, I could feel your windpipe bending back until you couldn't breathe anymore. Howard, let go. That's what you said last night, you fool. You wanted me to let go, but I held on until your face turned as blue as it is now. It was almost black before I let you go. But first I made sure you were dead. And then I dropped the body. You see, Doctor, my dreams do come true.
Well, have you had any good dreams lately? Howard has. And you know, his dreams don't need interpretation. No, they need cremation. Say, it's a lucky thing that guy works on the night shift. It'd be awful if he had daydreams, too.
Good gracious, yes. His dreams not only walk, they commit murder.
Mary, I was about to say that. Please leave the jokes to me. How would you like it if I talked about tea? Hmm?
Well, for goodness sake, I listened to the story, too. And I must say I'm glad I'm not his, dream girl.
That does it. Friends, let me tell you about Lipton tea.
All right, you win. But it's only because I have something important to say about Lipton's. Folks, did you know that Lipton's is the largest selling brand in the whole world? Yes, and the reason for that is Lipton's well-known brisk flavor. You know, that word brisk is the tea expert's word for tangy, full-bodied tea, for Lipton tea. Lipton's is always fresh and spirited, never flat or wishy-washy. That's why lots of people drink it not just at meal times, but whenever they're taking it easy for a minute during the day. So, folks, try Lipton's and get acquainted with that brisk flavor.
Well, let's get back to our dream man and find out what he does in his waking moments. When we left him last, he had just done a little manual work on Dr. Gerard's windpipe. And now, as the good doctor lies comfortably on the sanitarium floor, Howard is in the process of going through his pocket.
Well, I'll have to have the keys to your car, Doctor. I'll need them to get back home. I hope you won't mind if I hide you under this bed. It may take them a little bit longer to find the body if I do. But... Yes, who is it?
Dr. Frisbee, Howard. May I come in?
Well, yes. Yes, I'll open the door. What is it, Doctor?
Well, I was looking for Dr. Gerard. I thought he was in here.
Oh, yes, he was a moment ago. I think he went down the hall.
No, I just came from there. I guess he went back to his office.
Oh, yes, I guess he did.
How are you making out, Howard?
Fine, Doctor, fine.
You seem a little nervous. Your hands are shaking.
Oh, well,
You see, you've dropped your keys.
I'll get them.
It's all right, Howard. I wasn't going to take them away from you. But I am wondering how you happen to have any keys in your possession.
Well, they're not really mine.
Whose are they, Dr. Gerard's?
Yes, he left them here. I mean...
You mean, you stole them from him?
No.
Oh, come, Howard. You can't expect me to believe Dr. Gerard would give you any keys. Now, you'd better let me have them so I can give them back.
But I didn't...
Let me have them, Howard. Thank you.
You won't tell him I took them, will you?
No, Howard, I won't tell. But please don't take them again.
I'll go anyway. I'll get out onto the road and I'll get a hitch, yes, sir. I'll get away. I've got to speak to Marie. Going down, mister? Guess not. Guess I'm... Oh, here comes another one. Hey, stop! Give me a ride, will you? Give me a ride, please, mister? Oh, he's stopping. Hey, wait for me, will you, mister? I'm coming. I'll be right there. Oh, gee, thanks, mister. You going into town?
Yes, Howard, but you're not.
Dr. Frisbee.
Yes, I've been watching you ever since you took those keys. I thought you'd try something like this.
Well, I had to, Doctor.
I understand. Better get in the car, Howard, so we can talk this thing over.
All right.
You know, it's silly to run away from our place up there. If you really want to go home, all you have to do is ask.
I did ask.
When?
This morning. Oh, wait a minute. Don't start the car.
Why not?
There's a truck coming. In back.
Where?
Oh, Howard! Let go of me, Howard!
I've got to have this car, Doctor. When I finished with it, I'll return it to you.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Walker.
Who's this?
Howard. You remember me, don't you?
Howard, where are you?
In a telephone booth around the corner.
You're not in the sanitarium?
No, I've been discharged. Dr. Gerard said I could go.
You mean you're well again?
Yes, I'm completely cured.
Oh, I see.
You don't sound very happy about it, Mother. Where's Marie?
She's out on a date.
When will she be back?
Well, I don't know, Howard. She didn't say.
I've got to see her again, Mrs. Walker. I've got to see her once more before I die.
Before you die?
Yes, I haven't much longer to live. Now, where is she?
Well, I think she said she was going to movies.
You're lying.
I'm not, Howard. I just can't be sure. But if you go to the theater, you might find her there.
You don't want me to see her, do you?
No, not until I've spoken to Dr. Gerard.
Why? Don't you believe me? Don't you believe I'm well again?
No, Dr. Gerard...
Never mind what he said. Mrs. Walker, you mustn't dislike me. I'm very fond of you.
You are, Howard?
Yes. I've been thinking a lot about you lately, while I was in the sanitarium. Last night, I even had a dream about you.
Keep ringing that number, operator. I've got to locate Dr. Gerard.
Why the hurry, Mrs. Walker?
Howard, how did you get in here?
Through the back door. Put that phone down, please.
But
Put it down, I said.
Yes.
You lied to me about Marie being at the movies, Mrs. Walker.
I didn't mean to, Howard. I told you I wasn't sure she was there.
Where is she? This time I've got to know.
Howard, how dare you? Take your hands off me.
I'm not in a gentle mood, Mrs. Walker. I'm fighting against time.
You've done something wrong, Howard. You've escaped from the sanitarium.
No, I've done more than that, Mrs. Walker. I've killed a man.
Howard.
2 men, 3 men. I can't remember how many it was, but there's going to be one more.
Howard, you wouldn't kill me, would you?
Wouldn't I? What have you done to deserve your life?
There.
Let it ring.
But That may be my call.
Your call is coming now, Mrs. Walker.
Howard, please. Put down that knife.
Will you tell me where Marie is?
I told you I don't know. I don't know.
Then I'll wait for her. Right here.
Howard, you can't. No, you can't. Oh!
Yes, I can, Mrs. Walker. Hello?
Hello, this is Dr. Frisbee Sanitarium calling. Is Mrs. Walker there?
I'm sorry. You have the wrong number. Marie? Marie, darling?
What? Why, Howard. Howard, what are you doing here?
I've been waiting for you to come home, darling. Aren't you glad to see me?
Oh, yes, of course I am. It was such a surprise I couldn't catch my breath for a minute. Where's Mother?
Upstairs. Why?
Oh, I just wanted to know.
You had no other reason?
No. Howard, why are you staring at me?
I'm not really staring. I'm just looking at you, darling. It's been such a long time since I've seen you. I'd almost forgotten what you were like.
Well, let's go inside.
No, if you don't mind, darling, I'd rather go for a ride.
You're all right, aren't you, Howard? I mean, you're completely well now.
Oh, can't you see I am?
Yes, but yes.
Then let's not wait any longer, darling. Come on, we'll go for a ride.
Getting late, Howard. Don't you think we ought to go back?
No, not yet, Marie. You just keep driving. These few moments we have together, maybe I'll... Marie, why are you stopping here?
We're low on gas, dear. I don't want to get stuck on the highway.
Oh.
Yes'm? What'll it be?
You better fill her up.
All right.
And have you got a telephone here?
Yes'm, right inside.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, Marie. What do you want with the telephone?
Oh, I was going to call my mother. She'll be worried about me.
Oh, no, she won't. She knows you're with me. Besides, she went out for a little while.
Well, maybe she's back by now. It won't hurt to call, will it?
No, I guess it won't.
I'll be right back, Howard.
Well, hurry, darling. I want to be with you as much as I can.
Yes, I won't be a minute.
Number, please.
Operator, quick, get me the police. This is an emergency.
Yes, ma'am, right away.
Headquarters, Sergeant Dunn speaking.
Sergeant, listen carefully. I won't have time to repeat it. The murderer of Dr. John Gerard is right here in a filling station on Route 6 at the Hadley intersection. What shall I do? I can't keep him here.
Does he know you're onto him?
No, he doesn't know I read the story in a newspaper just before I got home. He was waiting there for me, and I haven't been able to get to a phone since.
Well, don't take any chances. He's a homicidal maniac. Don't even try to stall him if he wants to leave.
No.
Just stay where you are, and we'll be over there in 4 minutes.
Oh, no, that's no good. He won't let me stay here. He'll take me with him.
Marie.
Oh, he's calling for me now.
Marie.
Just a moment, Howard. What can I do, Sergeant? What can I do?
Give me the description of the car, quick.
It's a dark blue sedan. License number 468J3. We've been going east on Route 6, but... Oh, I can't talk anymore. He's coming.
Marie, for heaven's sake, what kept you so long?
Oh, I had a hard time getting the number. There was something wrong with the lines.
But you were talking to somebody.
Yes, I was speaking to Mother.
You were speaking to your mother?
Yes. She told me not to stay out too late.
You're lying, Marie.
No, I'm not, Howard. I talked to her.
You talked to the police. That's why you lied to me.
No.
You did. Your mother's dead.
Howard.
I know, because I killed her.
No.
Be quiet. Get back into the car. You're coming with me.
No, Howard. Oh, you're hurting my arm.
Get back in the car.
Hey, you leave her alone.
Keep out of this, you fool.
Leave her alone.
I told you to keep out of this.
Oh, I know.
Hey, put down that wrench.
Now put it down.
Howard, how could you?
Never mind. Get into the car.
Howard, why are you stopping here?
Don't you know where we are, Marie? This is the cemetery.
Where we stopped before.
Yes. I like it here. It's so quiet and peaceful among the dead. Let's walk through the grounds.
Howard, please.
Why not, Marie? We're among friends. So many of our loved ones are buried here. it's nice to be near them. Come on, Marie.
All right, Howard.
You know, darling, we haven't much more time together. The shadow of death has fallen across our path.
You said something like that before, but you never told me why.
I'm being selfish, Marie. I know I have to die, and I want you to come with me.
Why do you have to die, Howard?
Because I haven't been true to myself, darling. I haven't been true to this power I have.
The power of death?
Yes. I've helped it along sometimes. Like that dream I had about my friend in the sanitarium. Like the flowers in my garden. Like those fish at Dr. Gerard's.
You killed them?
Yes. I knew they were going to die. But I shouldn't have helped them. That's why I'm being punished.
But Howard, why are you punishing me?
I don't want to die alone, Marie. We've been away from each other so much, darling. I want us to be together from now on.
But...
Don't be afraid, darling. I'll be gentle, Marie. So gentle.
But you're making a mistake, Howard.
No.
You are. You've forgotten what you've done. You can't kill me, darling.
Why not?
Why, good heavens, Howard, don't you remember? Don't you remember that day at the sanitarium? You said you dreamt about me.
No. No, I couldn't have.
Yes, you did. Didn't they tell you what happened?
No.
Your dream. Your dream, it was true. That's why you can't kill me now.
Marie, you mean...
Yes, Howard. I'm dead.
I can't believe it.
Oh, you must believe it. Here. Look at this tombstone. My grave is right here.
No.
Read what it says. Read the name on it.
It's your name, Marie. Your name. Marie Walker.
Yes.
Then you really are dead.
I told you I was, Howard. The shadow of death passed over me.
Then let it pass over me.
Hey, got him, Sam. Got him the first shot. Keep out of the way, miss. He may not be dead yet.
No, I'm sure he's dead.
Well, you certainly had a close call. Took us all this time to locate your car. Finally spotted it on the road. You all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
Yeah.
The name of my grandmother's tombstone saved me.
How's that?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Say, that's funny.
What?
This guy was shot through the shoulder. My bullet wounds weren't serious enough to kill him.
What do you mean?
Well, I know it sounds crazy, but my shots didn't kill him. He was dead before I hit him.
What a shame. Wasting two perfectly good bullets on a guy that was dead all the time. Well, at least they won't have to go far to bury him. Here's one villain who died practically in the middle of his own plot. Isn't it funny how many of our stories seem to take place in cemeteries? You know, Mary, I think you ought to open up a concession in the cemetery. And you know what you could sell. Hmm?
Don't say it, don't you dare. You know very well that the place to buy Lipton tea is and always will be your neighborhood grocery store. And, folks, that reminds me. You'll find it wiser to buy Lipton's in the larger, more economical size packages. That way you not only save money, but you also make sure that you won't run short on a beverage that's really a household necessity. Brisk-flavored Lipton tea.
Well, before I put the skeletons back in their closets, I'd like to give you a parting word of advice. A body should never be left alone at the morgue at night. After all, it might become slab happy. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is The Whistling Legs by Roman McDougald. Yes, and let me tell you about next week's Inner Sanctum story. Directed by Hyman Brown And brought to you by Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup. You know, usually our stories are about people who lived 6 feet under the ground. But for next week, we've dug a lot deeper. In fact, it takes place in China. And as a special added attraction, we've unearthed a new kind of character for you. Unearthed is right. This guy's been dead for 20 centuries. And now it's time to close the squeaking door, so good night. Pleasant dreams.
Ladies, if your child comes home from school for lunch, you want to give him a quick but appetizing meal. And that's why you should serve Lipton's Noodle Soup. You see, Lipton's takes no time to prepare, and yet it has a fresh-cooked, old-fashioned chickeny flavor, and is just swimming with tender golden egg noodles. Your children will love Lipton's grand homemade taste. So don't forget to serve Lipton's Noodle Soup. And don't forget to tune in next Tuesday night for another Inner Sanctum Mystery.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
All right, we're back on the Glowing Dial Live. I'm Big John. That's Greg via Skype, sitting in the
Very much alive.
In the ghost chair here. We just heard Inner Sanctum Mysteries, The Shadow of Death, from Tuesday, October 2nd, 1945, over CBS. And that was Richard Widmark giving in one heck of a performance there. I mean, to try to put all that emotion like you're strangling somebody, and you're just standing there like I am here with a script.
He was strangling the script.
Maybe he was. You know, Orson Welles was a bit of an imp with things like that. He, one of his practical jokes was he walked into the studio and pretended to throw a fit and threw his script in the air. Pages came down all over the place, and his cast was just mortified, like, how is he going to do this script with the pages all over the place? And just before the broadcast, he pulls another script out of his pocket, all ready to go. And, you know, speaking of Orson, that Campbell's, or that Lipton soup thing brought back I remember Steve related on a recent version of the Glowing Dial podcast a story when they were doing the Campbell Playhouse. Ernest Chappell, who was the man who spoke to you on Quiet Please, he was the announcer on that Campbell Playhouse at the time, and Orson, before they went on the air, was telling him that roosters taste better than chicken. Really, it is. They should be Campbell's Rooster Soup, because that would taste much, much better than the chicken soup. And then Ernest, he caught on. He said, I see, Orson. I see what you're doing here. You're trying to put that in my mind so I will say Rooster Soup when we go on the air. Well, apparently, according to Orson, that's exactly what happened. He went to say Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup, but he said Campbell's Rooster Soup. Because Orson had put that in his head, you know. I don't know. But anyway, folks, we hope you enjoyed that. And congratulations once again to Kite Flyer Mike, our winner for today. And take that, Kimba.
Wherever you are.
That's what you get for not listening here. So, you know. Anyway.
Ruined your perfect record.
That's right. And there we go again. I got to keep up with my video switching here. I had the previous graphic for the radio show up all during the last talk set. So, and I just switched it off just now from Inner Sanctum. Oh, I'm so silly. Anyway, I want to talk to you about contacting us again, folks. And if I could figure out what screen that is. Yes, that's this one here. That's that one. It's got all the information on it then for anyone who might be watching, which I don't think is anybody right now. But if you want to contact us and get into the chat room, that's Mixlr.com, MAXLR.com /Glowing Dial. And all you have to do is join up with Mixlr. That's free, and they're not going to bug you. about anything. It'll never be a cost to you. And then you just sign in via Facebook if you want. And you can be in our chat room. So do that, as Kite Flyer Mike has already, which is how he won the contest. Now you can Skype us. We're going to try this. I was asking Greg off the mic if the Android version of Skype would handle multiple phone calls. Like if somebody else were to call in that Skype line right now, would I be able to have that person and Greg on at the same time and be able to hear both of them? You know. And we don't know, but Mike says that he might be able to help us out with that. So, Mike, we'll ask you in just a minute. We'll do that little experiment on the air. Yes, that's the joys of live radio, at least on this particular show.
Guinea pigs live.
You could also try to contact us via phone. We have a Google number of 248-221-2011. That's up on your screen right now if you happen to be watching on YouTube or Facebook Live. Again, 248-221-2011. And then there's always the website, glowingdial.com. We'd like you to email us there and let us know what you think of the show. If you're a regular listener to the podcast, the Tri-Weekly podcast, we want to hear from you there too. So drop us a line, let us know how we're doing. Let us know that you're out there listening. We really appreciate that. Just to know that some people are out there listening to us and liking what we're doing. So, that being said, I want to talk to you before we get to the celebrity birthdays and then our experiment. I want to talk to you about our websites. Now, of course, I just mentioned glowingdial.com. Those of you watching kind of seeing a screen grab right now of the Glowing Dial main page there, and just the very bottom there, you can see my email address. So click there, and then over to the side there is a menu with a bunch of good stuff, information on the Tri-Weekly podcast, the live show, our archives, where you can listen to anything that we've ever done, with the exception of 2 episodes, which we've lost, and we don't think we're ever going to find those 2. Those are back from the YUSA days. And then there's a donate switch there at the bottom of the menu that ties in with PayPal. And as little or as much as you can handle, we would appreciate here. That'll get us that TV set on stand that we need for you to properly see Greg when he Skypes in. Of course, sometimes Greg's live here in the studio with us too. So that's glowingdial.com. Another website we want to mention, and we're very thankful to our good friend Jerry Handigas. You're looking at his website right now, the Old Time Radio Network, which is where Jerry's own show. You can see Jerry in that little picture right there, and he does his radio show, and he carries the Glowing Dial plus a couple of other shows on demand in streaming audio. So make sure you check that out and drop Jerry a line of thanks, and take a look at his other site, otrsite.com, otrsite.com. It's a monster site, and Jerry's got an incredible collection of old-time radio shows which are available for purchase on either high-quality MP3 discs or audio CDs, or even downloads. I think he might be able to do FLAC downloads. And FLAC being the free lossless audio codec, which means you can compress it, but it doesn't necessarily diminish the quality of the audio file. And of course, I've mentioned that, which I did not want to go to, but those are all the great places that the Glowing Dial podcast can be heard: Google Play Music, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook Live now, even Internet Archive, and iTunes. That's what I meant to go to.
Makes you think sometimes we have more sources than we do listeners.
I think we do sometimes, yes. And I keep hitting the Mixler peak light goes on, so it's going to be a little scratchy at those points. Sorry for that, folks. I'm trying to adjust for that here on the mixer. Anyway, this is our Facebook page that you're looking at right now. And we'd like to crack 100 likes on this Facebook page. This is where we announce all the new episodes of the Glowing Dial podcast, where you'll see the event announcements of the live show every month, every third Sunday from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern.
And, of course, if you follow John or the Glowing Dial on Facebook, they'll also show up in your normal feed as well.
Right, yeah. I've made the live show a monthly announcement that comes up automatically now. So just as a reminder.
So we'll bug you.
There's the Glowing Dial blog, too, which is accessible from our main glowingdial.com page on the menu
blog.
There. And both of those are used to announce any announcements about the show, any postponements or cancelizations. Cancelizations, is that a word?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Cancellations. Let's just cancel out that last statement, huh? How about that? So there we go. I wanted to make use of those slides since I prepared them. Back to me now. And the Greg in the ghost chair here. Oh, look. Hey, the chair's moving. Oh, my goodness. How is that happening? How is that possible? Oh, it's my arm. I'm sorry. All right. You could see my arm moving the chair, right? So, yeah. I was going to... If I could... never mind. Let's just not go anywhere with that.
Strive for the highest production values.
Yes, the highest production values. Hey, I am doing this entire thing out of my pocket. We're doing it with...
doing it out of your bedroom.
No, it's the office/studio.
That's right.
You don't see a bed in here anywhere, do you?
No, that's right. No bed.
Used to be a bedroom till we switched them, and you were one of the ones that helped switch those two rooms around.
Oh, I do remember.
Quite a few years ago, and that's when we painted, too.
Oh, yeah. That's another... If nothing else, that's a reason to see the video feed alone, to see this paint job that's in here, because it will be unlike anything you've seen elsewhere. It's green! It's very bright green!
Well, I had somebody tell me that the colors I chose for this office are the primary colors of the Joker's lair on Batman.
Oh, that's right, because there's purple there, and what is that? It's a red ceiling, green walls.
Purple trim.
Yeah, purple trim.
Yep. That's it. Those are the three main.
Yeah, let's see. I thought you had a purple ceiling somewhere.
No. Never had a purple ceiling.
Never had a purple ceiling.
No.
Okay. Wonder where I got that.
If I could work out
that would make
if I
it too
could get
dark,
sea light and put that on the ceiling and have it show a star pattern or galaxies or some kind of celestial look, like either the constellations or something like that. That would make the awesome ceiling. Now, sea light is this cool stuff that is very flexible. It's like a flexible piece of plastic, but you can put video onto it.
Really?
You can feed video into it. Yeah, look up sea light.
I've never heard of it.
C-Lite, I think.
Definitely. That sounds interesting.
It's expensive though, too. I mean, it's meant for like nightclubs. You can make it. Just wrap it around a pole and have it glow a certain color, or you can change the colors. And I think you can actually feed video into it too, and have it be a video wall. So look up sea light if you want to find out more about that, folks. It's we were thinking of it for Stu and I were thinking of it for signs for our DJ businesses. Have a sea light sign. Yeah, no, on the table. At the gig. On our table, you have a sea light with the name of the business
hanging down in front.
Almost like a billboard kind of thing. Yeah. Or for some kind of cool lighting effect or something like that. But I think it's a very expensive thing to have, so I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. We can have some sea light.
Like all technologies, it'll come down in price eventually.
Yeah, that's true.
Who knows if they get if the resolution is high enough, it could even replace become a real flat screen TV. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure about feeding video signals into it, but I thought that was a possibility at the time, or something that they were at least working on. Okay.
So, ready for them birthdays?
Yeah, let's do the birthdays, and then we'll spin a short sketch, and then we'll get to that experiment.
Alrighty.
Which hopefully Mike will be able to help us out with. I know he's watching the Daytona 500 right now. I think it's opening race season. He says so. They already lost about 5 or 6 cars for any of you not watching the race. We're your play-by-play here on the Glowing Dial Live.
Because after all, why would you want to watch a boring old car race when you could listen to us?
Or watch us. You could watch us too. You
That's
do
true.
both.
Even
You could put
better.
you could put
Why
your
watch
TV.
a car race when you can watch John at the mic?
Yeah, we lose more cars here on the Glowing Dial Live than they do in the race. I'm gonna tell you. Cars being a figurative thing, of course, but we just had one big crash up at the beginning of the false beginning of the show that we had earlier. So.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for staying with us anyway and having faith that we would come back in a few minutes, and we did. Now sitting by. You're sitting by, right?
I'm definitely sitting. Especially since I got my cat on my lap.
Oh, Smudge is back, huh?
Yeah, it's my cat Smudge.
I can barely see you on the Skype screen now because you don't have any lights on in your room, and it's getting dark outside. Oh, there we go. For a minute, it looked like red. It looked like you had a red light on, like you were going to go red rum, red rum.
That's because it's the reflection from the Skype image.
Ah, okay.
Because you're kind of pointed at the ceiling, so I'm getting the reflection off your ceiling.
Oh yeah, I can see now. Yeah, I see that. Okay. So Greg looks like he's been huffing and puffing, and he's very angry right now. So he has a red face. As long as those little horns don't come out of your head and you start talking like this.
Yes.
Greg is sitting by in the Glowing Dial Studios. What would you be, southwest of here?
Yes.
The Glowing Dial Studios southwest. And he's got a few celebrity birthdays for today, February 18th, 2018.
All right. So let's kick things off here with Mr. Edward Arnold from New York City. He was born February 18th, 1890. He was an actor, and he played the president on Mr. President. And we also have Wayne King from Savannah, Illinois. He was born in 19. Well, they're all February 18th, so I'll just give the year in 1901. He was a band leader, and from blah, blah, blah.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks. From Lady Esther Serenade, the Waltz King.
He was known as the Waltz King.
He was known as the Waltz King. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Next up, we have L.A. Speed Riggs. I don't know why he was called Speed. Do you know why he was called Speed?
Because he was the tobacco auctioneer you heard at the beginning of the Jack Benny program a lot.
Yes, that's right.
Soul American. Because he could talk so
right.
fast. That's why they called him Speed Riggs.
I didn't know about the speed part. He was from Silverdale, North Carolina. And he was also, as he mentioned, he was the tobacco auctioneer from the Jack Benny Show and also the Kay Kaiser Show.
More or less for Lucky Strike, actually. Lucky Strike was the sponsor that he worked for.
Okay. So let's see. We have Bill Cullen. Oh, I know Bill Cullen. From Pittsburgh, PA. He was the host and announcer for Winner Take All, the Arthur Godfrey Show, and, of course, many other game shows over the years, including on TV. Let's see. We have Alan Melvin from Kansas City, Missouri. He was born 1922. Another actor from the Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts and also Arthur Godfrey Time. He also did an appearance on Lost in Space on the TV show.
Yes, that was West of Mars, where the duplicate of Dr. Smith called Zeno, the gunfighter, and he was the sheriff. Really corny episode.
Oh, and many of them were.
Yes, let Jonathan Harris play to his talents.
Okay, we also have Sam Rolfe, born 1924. He was from New York City. He was writer, also the creator of Suspense and Have Gun Will Travel. And now we have, finally, the last one on our list is George Kennedy. Who doesn't know George Kennedy? From New York City. He was another actor, he did radio before TV. He was on Suspense, Hollywood Radio Theater. He was also on the movie The Blue Knight, or the series The Blue Knight on TV. He was in the Naked Gun films. He was also on the he was on the wasn't he on the airport movies? He played the
I think he might have been in Airplane.
No.
The takeoff of. Oh, he might have been in one of the.
Not Airplane, Airport.
He might have been.
Yes, he was on several of them, if not all of them. He started off as the chief mechanic, and in either the last film or before the last film, he actually became a pilot.
Okay.
And that's our birthday roundup for this month.
All right, thank you, Greg, for that. And no music, so you didn't have to rush through it. Although you'd have made it with the music bed this time around, for this.
Oh, one additional George Kennedy.
Oh yes,
he played a cop. He played the cop in the movie Earthquake.
Okay, and that was also his role in The Blue Knight. He was a cop. That was a cop show.
Right, and The Blue Knight he got that role because of his performance on Earthquake.
Oh, that's some trivia I did not know. So there we go. And we say Steve Archiver Bannock is a vast walking storehouse of useless knowledge. Now you are too. Oh, all right, fine.
Are you saying I'm more useless than Steve?
Could I think on that for a while?
Not too long now.
All right, we're going to do our Skype experiment. We'll talk to you, Mike, in the chat room about that. Basically, it's just going to involve you giving us a call on our Skype line, and I'm just an experiment to see if the Android version here that I'm running and talking to Greg on right now, to see if that will handle both of you calls at the same time. It might just have to switch between one and the other. I don't know. But anyway, if you want to give us a hand with that, you can pull yourself away from the race. You might want to give us a highlight when we come back there. Tell us how many more cars were lost and who's in the lead, for those out there who would like to know such things.
And after all, that's the only reason why they watch those races, is to see car crashes.
Yeah, that's kind of the sick part of humanity, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A race with so much potential, yet so much evil. Capable of so much evil.
Funny, that kind of reminded me of a line that Hawkeye said in an episode of MASH. He says, somebody asks, are you going to come watch the cockroach races? And he says, because nah, people only go see to watch cockroaches crash.
Yeah. All right, Greg. Thank you, sir. And we're going to visit now with the most happiest married couple around, John and Blanche Bickerson. Woohoo! So we're going to hear one of those famous Bickerson arguments. This one is called John's Wrecked Car, and it was taken from a Dreamtime show that they used to do. That title was because of their sponsor, Dream Shampoo. This is from Sunday, February 23, 1947, over NBC. And, of course, as the Bickersons, Don Amici and Francis Langford, with guest Danny Thomas as Brother Amos. So we're going to roll that, and then we're going to come back and try this bold experiment with Skype, which is what the live show is for. Why not experiment? And maybe we'll find that we could do something we didn't know we could do before. Who knows? What evil lurks in the hearts of men? Oh, no, we're not doing the Shadow. We're doing the Bickersons. So enjoy that, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Francis Langford as John and Blanche Bickerson with Danny Thomas as Brother Amos in The Honeymoon is Over. The Bickersons have retired. Mrs. Bickerson lies rigid but awake in the darkness as poor husband John, victim of an obscure type of insomnia that prevents other people from sleeping, exhibits the telltale symptoms of his dread affliction. Listen.
It may be funny to him, but it's not to me. John, cut it out.
Cut it out, Blanche.
I'll lose my mind if you don't stop that giggling. What's the matter with you?
What's the matter, Blanche?
You sound like a tickled schoolgirl. What are you dreaming of?
Tickling schoolgirls.
John!
What? What'd you say, Blanche?
I simply won't stand it another night. Living in this house is becoming unbearable.
Let's move.
John, I swear I'm at my wit's end. How long do you think a person can go without sleep?
I've been doing it for 5 years.
John Bickerson, we've been married for 5 years.
Amazing coincidence. Good night.
Don't you good night me, you big sleeping pill. Why don't you have some consideration for me?
Well, what do you want me to do, Blanche?
When you were sick last year, did I say that? Didn't I sit up all hours of the night nursing you? Didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And what was my reward?
I got sicker.
Sure, you can afford to be sarcastic now. You feel fine.
I want to sleep. It's 2:00, Blanche.
You don't remember how I catered to you every minute. When the doctor said not to let you have anything cold, didn't I give you all the ice water you wanted?
You sure did. Almost killed me.
That's gratitude. Well, I didn't expect anything else from you. You don't love me, do you, John?
Oh, of course I do. Just because I don't say it every 5 minutes doesn't mean that I don't love you.
Tell the truth, John. If anything happened to me, would you marry again?
Never, never again.
Well, you don't have to sound so vehement.
Well, if I said it any softer, you'd say I didn't sound convincing. I don't know, Blanche. I just wish you'd let me sleep.
I keep thinking how nice it was before we were married.
Mm-hmm.
You were so different then. You used to plead with me for a little kiss. Now you don't even think of it. Why?
A mouse in a trap loses his taste for cheese.
Very funny. Oh, you're so funny, John Bickerson.
Well, I'm tired, and I have to get up early tomorrow.
You just won't understand, will you? There are none so blind as those who will not see.
Yeah?
The one time I expected you to break down and offer me comfort, and you fail me.
What?
It's all right. I'll struggle through it alone. It won't be long, and when the time arrives, I don't even want to see you near me.
What are you talking about?
I'll go to the hospital by myself. You can sleep right through it.
Blanche, are you...
Hasn't Dr. Marvin told you, John?
Nobody told me. What is it?
I'm going to have my tonsils out.
Your tonsils? What do you need to have your tonsils out for? You never have sore throats. Your tonsils never bothered you before. You never even knew you had tonsils.
Dr. Marvin said it would help my disposition.
Have them out, by all means.
I don't think I will, after all.
Okay, don't. Good night.
The only reason I was going to do it is because I thought I'd get a good night's sleep.
Okay, do it.
Why should I suffer through an operation? You're the one who keeps me awake. Why don't you do it?
Do what?
Have your tonsils out.
Okay, I'll have them out next week.
You say it, but you won't do it. Have them out now.
What?
Go on, get up and call Dr. Marvin. Let him pull your tonsils out.
Blanche, are you insane? It's 2:30 in the morning.
The hospital stays open all night. Go on, let him pull your tonsils out.
I haven't got any tonsils. I had them out when I was 9.
Well, you need some new ones by now. Let him put some in.
Oh, this is awful. You're deliberately trying to keep me awake. You know I have to get up early and go to work.
Oh, don't make your job sound so important. You take a day off, nothing will happen.
No, nothing will happen except I lose a day's pay. I need all the money I can get. I've got to make a payment on the car tomorrow.
Where will you get that?
I've got it. There's $84 locked in the desk drawer.
60.
84. I looked yesterday.
You didn't look today. There's only 60.
What happened to the other $24?
Don't look at me, John.
Blanche, there are only 2 people who have a key to that drawer, you and I, and there's $24 missing.
Well, we'll each put back $12 and say no more about it.
How do you like that? Blanche, what did you do with that $24?
I spent it. I bought some perfume.
Perfume? $24 worth? How could you carry that much?
Don't be silly. It was only a half-ounce bottle, and I got it wholesale. It's the newest thing. Very daring. It's called Perhaps.
Perhaps. For $24, they should give you Positively. Well, I can't understand why you throw my money away on junk like that.
It isn't junk, and you like it.
How do you know?
Because it's the same kind Gloria Gooseby uses.
I hate Gloria Gooseby.
Well, you're always sniffing around her.
Don't you start with that woman.
You're the one who started it.
I'd like to spend one night in this bedroom without Gloria Gooseby. Just one night.
She just douses herself with that perfume. That's how she catches all the men, the hussy.
She's not a hussy, and she doesn't need perfume to catch me. I mean, I can't stand the sight of Gloria Gooseby.
But you like the way she smells.
I hate the way she smells. I don't see how Leo can live with her, and I wish they both dropped dead. Now, either let me go to sleep or I won't go to work in the morning.
Don't go to work. See if I care. You'd have lost a day's pay anyway if I hadn't torn up that summons.
What summons?
For you to serve on a jury.
Why, you can't tear those things up. If I get a jury notice, I have to report.
Why?
Why? Because that's the law. You can't tear up any court order.
I tore up the traffic citation.
What traffic citation?
The traffic citation they gave me to go to court in front of the jury that you were supposed to serve on, but I tore up the notice.
Oh, Blanche, you'll have us both in jail.
Well, that's where my brother Amos is.
Amos? What has he got to do with this?
Well, I was taking a driving lesson.
Oh, Blanche, no! Not in my new car. It's never been out of the garage.
Well, it's out now. I took a driving lesson and paid the instructor $5 an hour, and...
Who was the instructor? It was Amos, wasn't it? It was. I know it was Amos.
I never even took the wheel. Amos was driving, and we suddenly saw this other car careening toward us at 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
Amos didn't have much time, but by an amazing piece of quick thinking, he managed to meet him head on. It's a funny thing, nobody got hurt. Not even the policeman.
What policeman?
In the other car.
Now look, Blanche.
Amos started to bawl them out about driving in the wrong lane, and they had some silly excuse about a police car having the right of way.
Blanche!
And then Amos got mad and hit one of the cops with a wrench.
Blanche, where is my car?
It's on Hill Street between 5th and 8th.
5th and 8th? That's 3 blocks apart.
That's where the car is. About 3 blocks apart. Or it was. They took some of it away to the police pound.
Some of it? Well, I don't care. I'm insured. I'm just happy they got that Amos in jail.
They can't do anything to him.
Oh, they can't, huh? That's reckless driving and resisting an officer. They can wrap him up good.
They can't do a thing about his driving, and you know it, John.
Why not?
Because he doesn't have a license.
Oh, that's different. They'll only add another 5 years. I hope they give him life.
John, why do you despise my poor brother so?
Because I hate him. And don't you dare ask me to help him, Blanche.
Well, the least you can do is help me. I have to go to court, too.
Well, it serves you right.
Go on, testify against me. Get me locked up in jail.
Oh, nobody's going to lock you up in jail.
Let them put me on bread and water. You won't feel so good when I walk that last mile when they slit my pants leg.
Blanche!
Why don't you get me a reprieve, John?
Oh, stop it! They're not going to do anything to you. Now go to sleep.
Go to sleep, he tells me. My poor brother's in jail. My own husband's going to testify against me. Go to sleep. How can I sleep? I'll never... How can he be so heartless?
Hello. Where's the phone, Blanche?
I've got it. Hello?
Blanche, this is Amos. I'm still in jail.
Wait, Amos. I'll get John. Talk to him, John.
Sure. Hello.
Jocko?
Drop dead.
Oh, listen, you gotta come down and spring me. This is the first call they let me make.
Drop dead.
Don't be sorry, Jocko. I'm in an awful jam. I'm in a tank here with 50 other bums.
Drop dead.
But I got money enough to pay for all the damage. I think I even got enough for the bail bond. Get me out, will you, Jocko?
Drop dead.
I swear I'll pay you. I got plenty of dough. I started the crab game here and won over $400.
Drop $400. Amos, are you loaded?
No, but the dice were. Hey, come down and spring me, will you, Jocko?
Well, I'm going to think about it, Amos. Right now, I'll leave you with 2 words.
Yeah, well, what's that? Drop dead!
Now I can sleep.
Please, John, dear, get my brother out of jail.
Well, I'll think about it.
I'll do anything for you, John. Please bail him out.
Pour me a shot of bourbon, Blanche.
Are you sure you wouldn't like a double shot, dear?
Just a single. Thanks. Wonderful stuff.
I promise I'll never wake you up again, darling.
And will you forget all about Gloria Gooseby?
Forever. Just get Amos out of that nasty jail.
Well, we can't do anything about it until morning anyway. In the meantime, I think I'll get a good night's sleep.
Certainly, dear. Are you comfortable?
Perfect. Just perfect.
Snore to me, John.
This is Toby Reed reminding you, never before dream. Yes, never before dream could any shampoo reveal 100% of the natural luster of your hair. Listen next Sunday for another pleasant half hour with Don Amici, Danny Thomas, Francis Langford, Carmen Dragon and his orchestra. And now here is
Don Amici wishing you good days, good nights, and good luck until we meet again.
Everybody's talking about Dreft, the greatest dishwashing discovery in 2,000 years. Dreft, D-R-E-F-T, Dreft. Procter & Gamble's sudsing miracle. It gets dishes so clean they shine even without wiping. Yes, it makes even glasses sparkle like jewels. Dreft simply can't leave any streaks on dishes the way all soaps do. Why, with Dreft, your nicest glassware positively shines. Dreft is kind to your hands, too. Get Dreft in the bright green package. That's D-R-E-F-T, Dreft.
Danny Thomas appeared by arrangement with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the human story behind the atom bomb, the beginning or the end. Danny Thomas's song was written by Jerry Seelan with special music by Carmen Dragon. Ladies, it's more important than ever that you save kitchen fats every day, every mealtime. To help get more soap, fabrics, and other items you want and need, save those fats. The need is urgent, the reason sound. And dealers now pay more per pound. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
And there you have it. Don Amici and Francis Langford.
Never get tired of the Bickersons.
No, that's great. And that was supposed to just be the sketch. My fault again. I didn't edit the end of that, which actually had the end of the actual half-hour show. But it was kind of cool. Hear a couple commercials and hear Don Amici out of character, you know. So, all right, it is.
Just out of curiosity, you know,
yes.
they were saying during that last commercial, he was saying save something. It says they're useful.
You know, I've already forgotten because I was doing other things here. I was, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't quite make out the word he was saying. It says save. It sounded like he was saying save draft or save something.
Oh, draft, D-R-E-F-T.
Yeah, but he was saying save those drafts. Was that what he was saying? You know, because he said they're useful now more than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was something. Well, this was 1947, so it was post-war.
Right.
But you know, women used to save scrap, and they used to save fat, cooking fat, used cooking fat, and that would be used in war production.
Yeah, but like I said, this was after the war, so they wouldn't need to do that anymore.
One of the best bloopers was done with that. Ladies, take your fat cans down to your butcher shop. Yes, Mike. It was kitchen fats that they used to say. You know, it's just the announcer didn't mean to say it that way, but you would save it in a can, like a coffee can or something like that. And you would take those down to your local butcher. He would get them to the right place for the government to be able to use them in war production. Ladies, take your fat cans down to your local butchers. I got Greg going here now. I think we'll just let this go for a minute here.
it's
now your face is getting red.
I just imagine hearing that over the radio. What'd he say?
There's so many other ones though too that are great.
Did you ever do a radio blooper?
On our very first live show, but that was in 2016, the end of 2016. I was just thinking, since you got such a laugh out of that, before we go today, I might play that blooper segment again.
Oh, God,
it's got that plus some other stuff like this is Indiana's first broad chasing station. Another one of my favorites. I just picture these horny DJs running after the girls in the station, and
that's just too...
kind of like Harpo Marx chasing after the girls,
Oh yes.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna try this. We're gonna try our Skype thing right now, Mike. If you're listening, I'm sure you are. Oh, he says, by the way, as far as the race went, number 3, Austin Dillon just won his first race at Daytona.
Good for you, Dylan.
So there we go. Apparently the race is over.
Whoever that is.
If you're into auto racing, you would know who that is.
Austin Dillon.
Like Danica Patrick is a young lady who has become very big in auto racing circuit.
Her, I've heard of.
She's good to look at, too.
I think she's even done a commercial or two.
Oh, yeah, she's done quite a few commercials. A sports celebrity making it big, of course, some commercial entity is going to sign them up for spots.
Absolutely.
Like, Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs, they had him doing Ford trucks. And
right. Yeah,
they had Bob Vila for Sears and all that kind of stuff. Oh, Mike says GoDaddy is Danica's sponsor right now.
Oh, okay.
That's the GoDaddy, the web people.
As in fact, it was Bob Vila's sponsorship with Sears that got him in trouble with This Old House.
Exactly. Yep. That's why he had to leave and
start his own show.
Bob Vila's Home Again, I think, is what they called it.
Mm.
And then Norm Abrams went off to do the New Yankee Workshop.
Yep.
Because we all know on the show, at least, Norm did all the work. Bob walked up and said, "Well, hey, Norm, tell us what's going on here. Oh, we're taking the slatting here and we're applying it here." And then Bob would hammer in one nail and walk off and leave Norm to do the rest.
That was it, yeah.
But at least the early days of This Old House, I did kind of like that show because it just it was kind of interesting. If that kind of stuff interests you, it was a nice little show.
If you watch the series Home Improvements, they did kind of like a takeoff of that.
That's what it totally was, and he even had Bob Vila on the show a couple times.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah, Tim hit him in the head with a board once, and he challenged him to a lawnmower race a couple of times.
Oh, brother!
The riding mowers, and they soup them up, and Tim puts a jet engine on his, and tends to destroy the whole of Oakland County in the process. Yeah, they even had Bob on a couple of shows because him and Bob had that Cold War between each other on the show, on Home Improvement.
Okay.
If you guys hadn't seen that, if you like any of Tim Allen's stuff, of course his caveman, is that stuff works heavily into Home Improvement. It was a good show for the family and everything, and Last Man Standing wasn't too bad either. I think that
I loved Last Man Standing.
I think that's ended its run, unfortunately.
Oh, did it? Yeah. Oh, well.
I haven't seen any new episodes come through on Hulu yet, so.
I liked when they had Jay Leno on as a kind of a recurring character.
The car guy, yeah. The car collector.
Right.
Which is what Jay actually does. He has a huge car collection.
Yep. Did you ever see his garage?
Just the mock-up of it they had for the show.
No, I mean his actual.
I think I might have. Well, I think I might have seen an interview segment where he showed it off.
Holy crap! It's huge.
It's like a museum.
It really is. It
must
really
be
is.
Nice to have that kind of money.
Mm. All right, back to the experiment.
Yeah, well, just Mike also says in the chat room, bad news. Danica Patrick is retiring Indy 500 would be her last race, so you're pretty lucky if you could retire as young as she is. You know, she's gonna have a great retirement and just to do what she wants and pay attention to her family. I think she's married. Lucky guy. I just wonder how she drives on regular roads.
Yeah, having to go 55 or 35 must seem terribly slow for her.
Yeah, but for any one of us jumping into a race car and going, 150 to, I don't know how fast the maximum speed they go in that, but that's got to be scary as hell.
Mm.
It takes a lot of talent and concentration and skill to multitasking to be able to be a race car driver. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's not easy to drive just in regular traffic. I find that out on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's downright dangerous.
Yeah, well, with all the idiots and expletive deleteds on the road.
Oh, I was talking about racing.
No, I was talking about just regular traffic too.
Oh, I get. Well, it's true in both cases.
You're lucky if you can get where you need to go.
That's right. Yeah, and yet we still do it. We got to do it.
Mike says they were hitting 200 miles per hour. Woo! Can you imagine that?
Oh well, absolutely. There are cars that you can get. They're not racing cars per se, but they're called like supercars,
right?
And that go well over 200.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Incredible.
There's a show that I watch called The Grand Tour. That with the host that used to do the UK's Top Gear show.
Okay.
And so they left that show, and now they have this show called The Grand Tour, and you get to see some really cool cars on this show.
Yeah, I don't see that show all that often, so I don't know too much about it. But
it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. I joined it. I did Amazon Prime, and I've still got the membership, which gets you free second-day shipping, on a lot of Amazon stuff. But a lot of the programs that they have there, they want to charge you extra for.
Really? I haven't run into that. I
went and I said, here's a bunch of these medical shows that I like to look at. And I put them into the watch list, and every one I selected wants me to pay $1.99 an episode or $15 for the whole season. I said, I'm already paying you guys monthly for Amazon Prime. I'm not going to pay you extra.
Okay. Well, you just happen to hit upon shows that aren't part of Prime.
Right.
Now, here's what happens to those shows too: is that if you look through the various, if they multiple seasons, some of the episodes will be part of Prime and some won't. I've run into that more than a few times, but eventually. They will move more episodes into the Prime area. It depends on how recent the show is.
Right. Well, I did find in the Prime area, I found Celebrity Bowling.
Yes, I actually watched a couple episodes of that when you told me about it.
That was kind of cool. It was from the late 70s, 76, 77. And you get to see a lot of these people that weren't even really bowlers. They were just on the show to try to do the best they could, and some of them sucked really badly.
I watched the one and I'm embarrassed to say I forget his name. Gershon.
Frank Gorshin.
Frank Gorshin.
The Riddler.
Was one of the bowlers. Yeah.
Some of them were quite good, actually. But
him and his wife were both there.
You remember Richard
Deacon? She did better than he did.
Do you remember Richard Deacon? The really tall fella that was on the Dick Van Dyke Show? He was Mel Cooley.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He had the funniest approach that I have ever seen from a bowler. I mean, this big, tall guy, and he almost did a tippy toe, like a tin, 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 up to the up to the line, and then just threw the ball. It's like there was no thought to an actual bowling approach or anything like that. So
he was doing a Fred Flintstone approach.
The only thing missing was the ticka 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 tick sound effect, Or would it have been something like no, that's actually somebody taking off and doing that thing you can only do in a cartoon, run in the air in place.
Yep.
for 30 seconds, as long as it takes to get the dialogue out, and then you're off the screen. All right, let's do this experiment, and then I think we got we're going to run till about 7:15, so we get our 3 hours in. So we have a little over 10, 12, 13 minutes yet to go. And I want to get some special Uncle Josh Weathersby stuff in, at least. So, Mike, if you are listening to us, we've already got you cleared. I've sent you approval for Glowing Dial 62, which is our Skype name. So if you would try at your convenience to give us a call on that. We're going to see if I can have you and Greg up at the same minute on the Android platform here, which is this is the way this particular tablet works. My iPad is actually my soundboard right now, which I could show you. And, okay, he's coming through. Hey, Mike. Can you hear me? Okay, I see him, but I'm not hearing him. It's funny, I was hearing Greg, too. And I can't, Mortar is on hold. This is great trying this on live radio. This is great. Well, I've got you up here, Mike, and I can see you. If you're hearing the broadcast at this point, I'm seeing you, but I'm not hearing you for some reason. I was hearing Greg, so I'm going to have to do some research off the show and see what we can do. I don't even know if you're hearing me right now. You are hearing me. You're hearing me via the broadcast. Okay. Yeah, I cannot hear you by the phone for some reason. Unless I do that. All right, how you hear? Say something to me now, Mike. Nothing? No, okay, we can't hear a thing. All right, what I'm going to do, Mike, is I'm gonna do some research off the mic, off camera, off the show, and see if we can make something like this work. Either that, or if I get into my other Skype account, we'll be able to do this better, because I'll have a separate tablet with that account, and that should work out that way. So thank you for doing this bold experiment with us. I'm going to terminate this call and go back to Greg, and we're going to finish out the show. So I hope you'll still be listening. All right? All right. We'll see you on the radio. And we'll resume Greg here. There we are. We're back with Mortar. See you on the radio. All right. I could see him just fine, Greg, but I wasn't hearing him for some reason, and I am hearing you. So, and it was basically just take his call in place of yours. It put you on hold and took him. So
we can't do it simultaneously.
Not until I get back into my Skype account, the Glowing Dial Live account, which apparently still exists. I just can't figure out how to log into it. So I'm gonna have to solve that with Microsoft. All right. In the meantime, thank you once again, Mike, for. He could hear me. Mike could hear me, but I couldn't hear him. He wasn't coming through to the board like you are right now. So thanks for participating in that bold experiment, Mike. We appreciate it. Okay. Before we escape out of here, we're going to do some special Uncle Josh stuff here. As you know, Cal Stewart is Uncle Josh Weathersby. That was a character he played on these very, very old recordings, most of them more than 100 years old now. We're talking about things that were on Berliner discs. And look who just joined me. My kitty just hopped up on me. Hello, Akuma.
It's Akuma.
It's Akuma. If anybody's watching the YouTube or the Facebook, you see her now. She's right there.
Beautiful little black kitten.
And she's purring too.
Oh yeah.
Let me see.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
I wanted to see if her purring would come out on the mic. Everything else comes out on this mic.
Huh. Oh, now I hear it now, but I think it's probably she must be close to the pad.
Yeah. Well, she's pretty close. Hello, little girl. All right, what I was going to say, Cal Stewart played Uncle Josh Weathersby, this wonderful old, simple farmer type character. And I first became aware of him when I was a kid and found a 78 that we had, an old Columbia 78 that we had, of Uncle Josh Weathersby, Uncle Josh at the Bug House, which had every pun that you can think of with the word bug in it. I think I'll have another glass of water, Bug. And he had this laugh. Which went something like this. And it's just his simple views on things. And bear in mind, these happened 100 years ago. He died in 1919. But he did know, was acquainted with Will Rogers and Mark Twain. And his humor was frequently compared to theirs. So most of these were the ones that we've played. If you've been a follower of the Glowing Dial throughout the years, the podcast, and back in our YUSA days, you know that we featured a lot of these because we had a couple that were listening to the show that really appreciated it, so we played them for them. And a lot of them were just spoken word. The three I'm going to do here are musical related. So I don't know if Cal was the best singer in the world, but he sings some kind of in character as Uncle Josh. So we're going to do 3 in a row of those, and then we're going to be back probably to close the show. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be back with you.
All huddled up together just to keep their bodies warm. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. And the song they sang I will now sing you. It's a song, it begins and it ends too. And a very, very pretty little song it is too. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. There were 3 little mice playing in the barn. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. Though they knew they were doing what was very, very wrong. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. For the old mouse said, little mice beware, when the owls come a-singing to take care. For the song that they sing, it is nothing but a snare. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. Now the 3 little mice thought they'd have a lark. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. So they crept out softly just as soon as it was dark. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. And the song of the owls sounded so nice. Closer and closer crept the 3 little mice. When the owls came and gobbled them up in a trice. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. Now the 3 little owls flew back up in the barn. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. And they said, those little mice make us feel so nice and warm. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. Then they all commenced to sing, to whip, to woo. I don't think much of this song, do you? Well, the only thing about it is it's perfectly true. Dinky-dinky-doo-dum-day. I'm a jolly old fellow from way back in New England, where apples and peaches and pumpkins do grow. Where the gals, they are handsome, the boys, they are likewise the same. I would have you to know. I came to your city, if your sight for to see the town and the great public square. I came for to ride in your electric streetcars and wink at your pretty gals there. But I'm old, but I'm awfully tough. Old, but I'm awfully tough. And the gals that you say are gonna joyous away. You're old, but you're awfully tough. I'm old, but I'm awfully tough. I'm old, but I'm awfully tough. I just came in from a country town a week ago today. Tomorrow I'm going back again, I can no longer stay. A man gave me a $50, I was green as green could be. Says I give me another for my brother, 'cause he's twice as green as me. Then I laughed. I couldn't keep from laughing, 'cause it really tickled me. All the folks around commenced to grin, they all looked right at me, so I couldn't keep from laughing, no. I went into a minstrel show, the doing for the tea. I got some peanuts and popped out, as happy as could be. They told some jokes my grandpop told, that wasn't new to me, but I couldn't keep from laughing, 'cause they really tickled me. Then I laughed. I couldn't keep from laughing, 'cause it really tickled me. The folks around commenced to grin, they all looked right at me, but I couldn't keep from laughing, no. I went into an eating house, some donuts for to get. There was a gal behind the counter, she was dressed up fine, you bet. She wouldn't take my nickel, 'cause had a hole that went far through. Says I to her, that's nothing now. There was a hole in the donut too. Then I laughed. I couldn't keep from laughing, 'cause it really tickled me. The gal, she got so all fired mad, she could hardly see, so I couldn't keep from laughing, no. My name is English Reuben from way back in old Vermont, and everything seems ticklish to me. I've been tickled by an undershirt, been tickled by a wasp, I've been tickled by a yaller bumblebee. I have always got the tickle sort of way about my clothes. It doesn't really matter where I be. I am tickled in the morning and I'm tickled in the night. Something's always sure to tickle me. I am tickled in the morning and I'm tickled in the night. Something's always sure to tickle me. Oh, I'm tickled in the morning and I'm tickled in the night. Something's always sure to tickle me. Oh, once I put some pepper into Dad's snuff box, and the way he acted was a sight to see. Well, he coughed and he sneezed till I thought he'd have a fit, and then he took me out and tickled me. I was always getting tickled by someone about the house, so why they did it I could never see. And the apple butter paddle, it is all in printers now. Mother wore it out tickling me. Something's always sure to tickle me. I am tickled in the morning and I'm tickled in the night. Something's always sure to tickle me.
Well, there you have it. Cal Stewart, the immortal Cal Stewart, as Uncle Josh Weathersby. We heard Three Little Owls and Old But Awfully Tough, then I Laughed, and then Ticklish Reuben, which was the musical side of Cal Stewart and Uncle Josh. And we'll be playing more of those spoken words ones. I have got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 55 of them here just at hand. And that last one was, maybe it had a little bit of a swishy sound. I did some noise reduction with that, but I did that about 10 years ago when I was just learning how to use a program called Cool Edit. And that is since morphed into Adobe Audition. So I was learning how to do noise reduction, and maybe I did a little too much, because if you do too much noise reduction or try to do too much restoration on track, sometimes you tend to destroy some of the track, some of the qualities of the recording, rather than... It's a trade-off. Sometimes you might want to leave a little bit of surface noise if it leaves the performance a little clearer, and not with that swishy sound effect that noise reduction used to, and still does give if overused. So,
oh, sorry.
You need an M switch. I've got mine right here, so if I have to clear my throat, like I have several times here, I just turn it off and move on. Okay, and that was 5. Okay. Well, you know what, Greg? We're at 7:20 p.m., and it's time to wrap up the show.
Good, because I'm hungry.
So am I. What are we having? If you weren't at the Glowing Dial Studios southeast, I would say, I'll pick you up and let's do something for dinner. But that's a little problematic with the distance involved.
Yeah.
Because Greg's at least 45 to 50 minutes away.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
So, God, would that be as many as miles? I don't know. I'm not here to figure that out. You know what?
Oh, well.
Anyway, thank you, Greg, for being with us.
No problem.
And I'll look forward to a time when we can. You let me know what your schedule looks like, and we can maybe have you here in the studio. Next time you have some time off work, you don't have to be at work like the following morning.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But we come to you folks once per month live, and that is the third Sunday of the month. So the next show is going to be, again, with the 18th. What are we doing with the 18th here? 2 months in a row.
Well, if you look at the calendar for February and March, the days exactly line up with each other.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's it. Because March 18th, next month,
bizarre.
From 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern is the next episode of the Glowing Dial Live, and we hope you'll be there for that. And maybe Makimba will come back, and Makimba might come back and give Mike a chance, run for his money there at the next trivia contest. And I don't even know what the questions are going to be yet. I haven't even composed that yet. But I've got a month.
So come on back, Mike. Come on, be a regular.
Yeah, and some of our other listeners, too. Joseph, I didn't see him today, but maybe he was too engrossed in the race, I don't know, or another sporting event. But, yeah, March 18th, which is 4 days after yours truly's birthday, so just send money. Just make really, really big donations to that PayPal icon on our main page at glowingdial.com. The bottom of the menu on the left-hand side, there's a PayPal icon. Whatever little or however much you can afford. If you want to buy us that TV set and stand so we can see Greg next time, and it'll kind of look like there's somebody right here in the studio with me, other than ooh, the ghost in the chair. Ooh, yeah. Cheap special effects here in the Glowing Dial. You know, I'm told that with this software, Greg, we can actually do a green screen.
Cool.
And make it look like, take a picture of the inside of a radio and make it look like we're sitting inside the circuitry of the radio.
I even have a green screen that you can have.
Oh, well, I don't know how big it is. It'll have to stretch the length of the camera shot in order to be
yeah, it should be big enough.
There's always a fabric store. You know, that part is done cheap enough. I just got to figure out with the software how to do it. Oh, and I burped. Sorry. Excuse my burp there. That came out before I could silence myself. But
this
anyway,
is grassroots radio, folks.
Yes, it is. Paul Whiteman and his orchestra are standing by in the background there, which you can't see because they're slightly off camera there. But they don't always appear visually to us. That they do show up to do our closing music. And there they go. All right, folks, we want to thank you. Remember to tune in next month on the 18th of March, 2018, for the next episode of the Glowing Dial Live. Go to glowingdial.com and you can hear the Glowing Dial Tri-Weekly podcast. You can hear that in many different places, even subscribe to it, so the latest episode is automatically downloaded to your favorite device. And all the details to do that are at the Glowing Dial page, glowingdial.com. For the Tri-Weekly podcast, just click on Shows on the menu to the left. For details on the live show, click on Live Show. And click on Archives there, too. That's where we got all the episodes of everything we've ever done, short of 2 episodes which are lost forever, I think. But we're even putting copies of the live episodes in there, and even links to YouTube where you can see the video version of the live shows, at least since we started doing them from episode 5 onwards. And this is episode 9. So for Big John and for Greg and for Mike and everybody else listening, we're saying keep a positive thought, keep looking up, think big, keep watching the skies, and we will see you on the radio. Take care until then.
Bye-bye.